There were rumours I died in the car crash. My mum, everybody didn't know how to talk to her until one of them sparked up the courage to say, how can you come in and work today when your son has been declared dead?
And was there any rivalry between you and Pat Sharp?
We were the Blur and Oasis. And
you were doing the dancing?
Yeah, I used to dance as a podium dancer.
You worked with Chuckle Brothers?
Yes. Oh, Paul and Barry, that was the best.
One episode was banned. Is that correct?
She puts the bear in the middle, the bear leant into the flames.
The crowd were chanting, oh, Dave Benson Phillips.
Yeah.
What's in the Gunge then?
Can't tell you. These seagulls are organised.
Jamal, have you sent him his camera yet?
I actually contacted Jamal. I think he made it up.
You are absolutely brilliant. Let's get Dave back on the TV screens as much as we can. Right, today is a big one.
What?
A big one. A big one. If you ever grew up...
I've only just met him. He's bragging. He's bragging.
Hold on, my IQ's going. if you ever grew up in the 90s...
I did.
You knew this guy here. Look, you're ruining my script, Dave.
All right,
already.
so, do you know
already.
What?
Keep your mouth shut for a minute.
All right.
If you, let's say it's gone too fast, get it back. Come on, Paul, get it back. There we go. Okay,
right.
Second ever podcast, everyone.
Yeah,
Second ever one.
Rule number one, never let your guests hijack a show.
Started already. Right, today's a big one. A big one. If you ever show Gunge at the telly, and if you ever still hum that theme, that's right, isn't it? In your sleep, then this is the episode for you. For you, okay? This guest shaped my childhood. Okay, I'll tell you about that in a minute. Traumatized parents and teachers and vicars, right? And turned slime into a national sport. Sliming people into national sport. TV legend, Panto King, the man, the myth. He's been dead one time already, but he's still here. Don't believe them rumours, okay? A load of old ex-Disney presenter, a horror consultant.
Yes.
Yeah. Not yet. A voice actor. A man people still recognise in the streets today. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Dave Benson Phillips.
Well, Simon,
we got there.
Thank you very much. That is quite the introduction. Thank you.
So, Dave, thank you for being here.
Yep.
It's not my first run-in with you.
Oh, no. I hate it when people say this. Was I well behaved?
No.
Oh, thank goodness.
I didn't actually meet you.
Right.
I saw you at the CBBC Big Bash in Birmingham many years ago. I won a competition and went there. And you're in the panto there.
Yeah.
I think you were like a king or something in there.
Yeah, it was the Robin Hood panto. I played the part as Robin Hood and
now Simon Hood. And now you hear of Simon Hood.
Yeah.
Full circle.
It all links. It's all very uncanny.
And I was in the Sea Cadets, right?
Yeah.
And every Sunday I had to go and practice for this drill, doing like marching and stuff like that. And unbeknownst to me, my mum had brought tickets to see you at the Lees Cliff Hall in Folkestone. Oh. And it was the same day as the drill competition. so we had to ring up sick. My mum pretended I broke my leg or something.
Oh, no.
So I could come and see you because I didn't want to miss you. And I never went back to Sea Cadets after that.
No!
Because I couldn't fake having a broken leg.
No! Well, yeah, because you need at least 6 weeks.
Her, why not? Why is something so dramatic? So you killed my career in the Navy, basically.
Oh, you could have been like able seaman, Hood.
And now I'm here in Worthing.
Oh, mate, I'm so sorry. Welcome to Worthing.
Lovely place.
Oh, in that case, then I better give you an incredible interview just so as to make up for those years when you could have been a naval seaman.
Let's do it.
All right.
Do you like seamen?
I used to do a joke about that once. I won't tell it because it's not good for the kids.
This isn't for kids, don't worry.
I was going to say, yeah, I normally say, what's big, black and full of semen? And the answer is a submarine. But there was one time I was entertaining the Navy and I really did stand there and say, what's big, black and full of semen? They said, submarine. I said, no, me! And I don't know what made me say it. I really, to this day, I'm very sorry, Navy. lot of traumatised navalmen all just go, I used to watch him as a child. What was that about?
We're going to talk about the secret recipe for the Gunge, and I'm hoping that's not part of it.
Okay.
But anyway,
do you want to start this interview again?
before
I don't think none of this can go out.
Before we get on to your, I mean, you've had an amazing TV career. You may not think so, but you have. You are a legend of TV.
I do. I know you got questions to ask me, and I've got to admit, I'm amazed. I'll put that out there. The first thing is I'm amazed, and I'm completely humbled by it. I can't believe I got to do what I do. Anyway, let's find out what questions you ask.
So I was trying to research about you before this interview, and there's not much information about you growing up. And your background. So I wanted to talk about that really, and the kind of your upbringing, if you're happy to share that.
Okay, where do we start? I was born in London, in Hammersmith. My parents, Jean and Darry. My father's since passed away a few years back, and it was that typical thing, you know. England needed people to come over and sort of after the war to help boost the economy, get Britain back on its feet and stuff. And of course, when Windrush happened, many people from the West Indies went to England in search of work and a better life and improving on themselves and stuff. And my dad was one of those people who came after the Windrush. So he came by plane to England. So that's how he got here. Worked really hard for London Transport, the bus company. And eventually Mum came over. But before that happened, they'd had 2 children, my brother and sister in Barbados, and they stayed with their grandmother for quite some years until they came over. I was the first born over here. I'm actually the third of 5 children. So we grew up, a lot of rented accommodation, a lot of bedsits and stuff until, we got to live in just outside of Tooting in South London. And we lived there for many years, and we grew up there. And of course, we hung around in Wimbledon and Merton and Tooting and Wandsworth and places like that. So it was. I don't know. I mean, when I talk about my childhood to people, they kind of say, "Well, they weren't sure." You know, I'm trying to describe it in a way. We didn't have a lot of money. All right. So whatever money we did get, it was all about the improving of oneself. So, you know, Mum and Dad would be Dad would be learning how to drive a bus. Because first of all, he came over and he was like what they call a conductor. Right. Now, back in those days, a conductor would have been working on the Route Master bus. So it's the double-decker buses. And so Dad was, he'd take the fares and do that. And he realised that the people who get the big money, the rock stars in London Transport, would be the bus drivers. So he learned how to drive a bus, got his licence and everything else. And so the money went up. And then he used that money to better us, as it were, housing, and also he was a freak for mechanics and engineering. And so he basically used the money to set himself up as a mechanic. And he spent his last years before retiring, he used to repair taxis, a lot of black cabs in London. So he was sort of stationed in the south of London. So sort of Clapham and Kennington and places like that. And that's where he worked. He spent his last working days there. But yeah, it was all about the improving of oneself. Mum went on to do nursing. So it was all about that. It was all about coming over to England and doing as well as you can. That's it. I don't get asked that very often, actually. So, wow.
So then
there were 5 of us in the house, 5 kids in the house. Okay. Yeah, pretty cramped. So it was that.
So I read that at 14 you started entertaining children, right?
Yes.
What led you to doing that before? So what made you think, do you know what, I can entertain children?
It was a friend of mine who got me into a place called the Polka Children's Theatre, which was in Wimbledon. It's this wonderful old building. And back in the day when I was a choir boy, there was a church called Holy Trinity Church, and they had the church hall, which was next door to it. Anyway, something happened between the church and the church hall, and the church hall was sold, and this guy came in called Richard Gill, and he knew loads and loads and loads of people who had money and stuff and influences, and he built, along with other people, some of them I never got to meet, but they were highly influential in my life, and they built this amazing theatre called the Polka Theatre. And my friends' parents, they were like trustees of the theatre, and some of these guys would go off and do things. They would perform shows, or they would put on shows in the theatres, and he would, my friend at the time, Simon, would go around and give out leaflets. And he said to me one day, out of the blue, because he just said, "Would you like to come in and help me give out some flyers for this theatre?" And I kind of went, "All right, I will." Now, at that point, I'd always done in the school, I'd always sort of tried to perform or tried to do school plays and things. And I'd always wanted to be an actor. Never thought I'd ever would become an actor, but there you go. But as a kid, I got to work in this theatre. I got to give out leaflets every now and again to all the shops and local people nearby. And I used to watch entertainers coming in and entertaining the children at children's parties, and I thought, that looks like a whole bag of fun. These people, they came in dressed as clowns, they had puppet shows, they would do circus skills. And as a teenager, this was having a profound effect. And I looked and I thought, do you know what? I wouldn't mind trying to do a bit of that. So the big thing was trying to get people who worked at the theatre to teach me how to do all these performance things. And that's kind of where it happened. Once I began to learn things, and they helped me put together a show, a half-an-hour show for children. The next thing I know, they got me a children's parties to do, and I used to work from there as a base. It was really quite interesting. I literally, it all started in the Polka Theatre.
And what did your parents think about you doing that?
Well, they were not keen on it. Let's put it like that. I'm going to put it in the nicest way possible. They were not keen. They rather that I spent my weekends doing something far more academic. But, it was a big thing. It was such a draw. And, of course, when I started doing the children's parties, then, money was coming in, and I was investing that in magic tricks and props and asking people for shows.
So I'm...
for the love of...
I'm a famous magician, Dave.
Oh, are you?
I performed magic on Broadway a couple of weeks ago in New York.
As you do.
As you do. Basically, I did a stand-up gig, right? And I ran out of jokes, so I had some magic tricks.
Oh, I've done that.
So I'm just gonna. Have you ever seen a magic coloring book?
Not that size, no, but yeah.
Well, I did have a pen to colour it in.
I haven't got my glasses.
It's just a normal crayon. It's best you don't put your glasses on, trust me.
All right. The zigzag crayon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God. Cut it in half, mate.
I haven't seen one of those in
years. Unbelievable. And then we're going to do it. We're going to do abracadabra. There we go.
Oh.
It's back. Was it magic tricks like that?
Oh, yeah. Well, it kind of started like that. And
then the magic colouring book, obviously.
Oh, yes.
And then,
yes. I had a friend of mine a long time ago. He went by the name of Magic Mac, and I was a part of his travelling magic show. Again, he was a teenager who was interested in magic and stuff, and we'd all met at the Polka Theatre. So yeah, we used to do tricks like that.
Not as good.
Well, no, it's really funny. It's one of those ones where it starts off being not as good, and for some reason your belief system takes over, and then and then you get work and bookings, and then what you then do is then you start investing in stuff. So all of a sudden, I had these little naff tricks that were quite small and very introvert. You'd have to be really close to see them, and you're trying to explain to a little under 6-year-old, this is a pet. Can you remember your card? It's like they're children, But you build up from then, and then you ask lots of magicians and stuff. And another friend of mine called Nick George, he was another performer again at the Polka Theatre, and we used to go to these shops because he knew where they were. So like Davenport's, the magic shop, International Repro, which was a commercialised shop we used to get magic equipment from and stuff like that, and Alan Allen's was about, and there was loads of others that we used to go to. Did I mention International Magic? Yeah, I did. And they were wonderful shops, and when you knew where they were, and they'd be a bit weird with you at first because you'd go in, and of course being a guy who was black, I didn't realise in some cases it was met with a bit of, how do I put nicely, apprehension.
Why would that be?
Well,
black magic.
Get out. Get out.
I'm trying to think, why would that be?
Well, yeah, I think for some people they hadn't seen, black magicians before, or anybody who was black who was remotely interested in doing that sort of thing. And I'm sure on the planet there are loads of black people, ethnic people doing. In fact, there's one Asian guy, I think it's Shahid Malik. I want to say Shahid Malik. He was one. He was an Asian guy. Al Glennon was another one. I mean, there's just but it was one of those things. Anyway, the fact of the matter was that I would come in, I would buy these magic props, I would try and learn how to do the tricks and stuff. And of course I came at it with a slight disadvantage because most magic is for right-handed people. Yeah, if you look at the instructions, it's always about you put this in your right hand, you put that in your right hand, and you use your left just by way of basically just misdirection. And of course, I'm left-handed, so it was left dominant. So it was a real case of having to learn the tricks, then learn how to reverse the tricks and convert it to me, which was great fun. So there was that. Anyway, that's very technical. But yeah, I spent a lot of my time growing up doing magic tricks as we do, and it seems to be something with people who have to talk to people or who perform to people, or they happen to be people in their jobs where at some point they've briefly dabbled in magic. And in my case, I not only did I dabble in magic, I did it right through and still do it, and I did it on a program called Playdays, which was called Playbus at the beginning. And I would do a magic trick every week for the children and on the telly. And yeah, I did that loads and loads and loads and loads. And I can remember one of my nicest moments, bless him when he was alive, was Paul Daniels. I met him and he said, "You do a lot of stuff for the young children, don't you?" They're doing all the magic tricks. I was so amazed and made up that he knew that.
He knew you were.
Yeah, it was really weird. Because, I mean, this guy, he does magic all over the world, very famous, international, the bit. And he took the time to have a chat with me about what I did. And I was like, but all I do is I just entertain children. That's it. Play music on the guitar. That was another thing that came in as well. Perform the magic tricks to the children. Back in those days, you would have referred to it as like a bit of padding because I knew about 3 really good tricks.
I don't know any, don't worry.
And then the rest of it was like, how do I pad this out? games. So I was taught how to do games. So I used to do those. And then it was, and I just began to invest. And it just got to the point where I bought, there was a briefcase I bought off of a mate of mine, which was a lost property briefcase. I've still got it somewhere. And that had a lot of my close-up magic tricks. And it's really funny as a young performer because you do bits and you suddenly realise there are things that, although you can do them, it doesn't sit well with you. And like people used to give me like lots of close-up magic work to do because it was quite unusual to have a young black guy going into, say, like a restaurant and say, would you like to see a magic trick? You know, and doing it. And it was just, so I used to get that, but it didn't sit well with me. I just wasn't very good at the close-up stuff. And there are some people who can do it. I used to watch them, and they were just legends on legs. I mean, because you can imagine, you're in a restaurant where people, all they want to do is sit, talk and eat and catch up. And there's a guy who leans over and says, would you like to see this card disappear? It's like, no. So, you know,
my favourite magician is?
Who's that?
Sooty.
Oh, Sooty's the
Very
best.
good, isn't he?
Sooty is the best. I can see there's he's doing this again where he will say what seems like an oblique question, an out of the blue question, and actually there's
It links. It's going to link.
It's going to link like you would not believe. Freight train.
So I was on holiday last week at a holiday camp, and I believe where I saw Sooty, I don't know, you started work at holiday camps, right?
Oh, that one. Oh, God, yeah, because there's other links with Sooty that I have.
But tell me about them links.
Oh, yeah, I will do. But yes, I did do the holiday camps. I went to, my first one was Canberra Sands for Pontins. And I went there, and at one point in my life, and you'll hear this again, I was the only Black Bluecoat in the world, which was great. But no, it was an amazing thing. I always wanted to go off and learn how to be a performer, how to be an actor, and I never got the chance to do it. So when I went up for an audition for Pontins, I can't believe I got it. I really couldn't. It changed my life. There's a number of life-changing things that have happened in my life, or life-affecting things. The Polka Theatre was one. Earlier than that, I discovered that I liked to sing and perform and stuff. So that was a big thing for me as a kid. And then, like I said, Polka Theatre. But when I got the audition for Pontins and consequently got a job with the holiday firm, it was just, it was the most amazing thing, because I was normally that kid who would try stuff and it would just not be right. There'd be failure sort of linked with it, you know, and I'd learn something from it, like, don't try it. But the thing was, I went to this audition, I did the audition, and that was quite an amazing thing, because I was unemployed at that time. I mean, really unemployed. And it was a mate of mine who taught me how to use the system to get money to travel to Bristol to do the audition for Pontins, because there would have been I couldn't have afforded to go. I didn't have a job. And so, Alistair, got me. It's hang on, I'm going to have to stop this. I'm going to have to stop this. No, come here. I'll tell you how this works, right? No, I'm just going to turn it off. I'm going to turn it off. There you go. No, it's just people trying to get hold of me. Here we go. Right, sorry about this.
No, that's right.
Right, so where was I? Yes. Okay, strapping in. Here we go. So, a mate of mine, Alistair Ferrier, I haven't seen him in years. He taught me how to use the government to basically get me a ticket and a pair of shoes and an outfit to go for this audition. And I went off and I did all of that, and I got down to Bristol at a place called the Locarno Ballroom. Probably doesn't exist now. And I went in, there were hundreds of people. I remember that, just loads and loads of people. And it was a real sort of, I did the bit, I did my audition, sung, performed a bit, and the next thing I know, this guy came over and said, right, would you like to work for us? You know, we'll put you at Canberra Sands, and the rest was history. You know, as far as I was concerned, he was a lovely guy called Jeff Ree was his name. So like, it sounds like Jeffrey, but it's actually Jeffrey. And he was, and I worked at Canberra Sands. I was completely green behind the ears. Never been away from home that long. And that was quite an amazing experience. I was down there. It was my first season, 6 months long. And I learned how to perform, how to use the microphone, how to call bingo, how to entertain people who were on holiday. And, you know, for the most part, it was an incredible experience. There were some people who were kind of strung out that somebody like me would be there at the camps. But for the most part, people were wonderful. And, you know, and I had a great time. It was an incredible education because not only were you looking after the people during the day, but at night you did get to perform. Or in my case, I used to do something called the noddy train, which was it was almost like the punishment duty. So if you didn't turn up on time, or if your outfit wasn't quite right, or your shirt wasn't pressed, you were punished by going on the noddy train. And this was a train that would go around the entire outskirts of the camp, and Canberra Sands was a big camp. And so it would be this tractor that would pull little carriages behind it, and the kids loved it, but everybody who did it didn't like it. The staff, it's like, oh God, I'm on the noddy train. Yeah. And of course, I wound up on the noddy train so often. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to make this. I'm going to have the back of the noddy train. I'm going to have. I had a loud hailer which I used to use. There was a guitar that I would play. I would juggle. I had a puppet called Fred the Whatsit. He was lovely, and I would entertain all these kids.
What was Fred the Whatsit?
Well, funny enough, it looked a lot like Gordon the Gopher because it was that time. You know, no self-respecting children's entertainer would ever be seen without a gopher or anything that looked like what Philip Schofield had to work with back in the day. So, yeah, I was on this train literally for months because I was that person. I mean, I'd like to think I was good at my job, but it just became a daily thing. It became that, Dave, you're on the noddy train. You know, you've done something. You're on noddy train, just noddy. Sometimes I didn't do things that were wrong, and I was still on the noddy train.
But you made the best of it, right?
Well, yeah, I'd like to think I did, but I think by that point, I knew that I wanted to entertain children in some way, shape, or form, and I was very lucky to have been given that chance to do so. So
I mean, a lot of people came through Pontins, didn't they, at the time?
Oh,
famous people, right?
Loads. I'm trying to think of them. The one that springs to mind is Sean Williamson.
Okay,
Barry from EastEnders, who's probably another one, of course, again, EastEnders. Shane Ritchie was another one. I went 2 years after him. It's really funny. I mean, he joined, I think he was still under the legal working age for being a Pontins Bluecoat, and they took him on. I mean, you've seen him working on EastEnders, but back in the day, I mean, I can remember seeing videos of him working, and the man was like he entertaining, powerful, almost certifiable in some cases. He was just brilliant. So yeah, I came in about, I think, a year or 2 years after him. But yeah, he was like another famous one. There's loads of famous people. If you look them up, there are loads.
So from there you went to North Wales, right?
Via. I did a brief bit in Breen Sands, which is sort of like South Wales, as it were. And then I went to a place called Little Canada on the Isle of Wight, where also Shane Ritchie had been as well. And yeah, that was lovely. I love the Isle of Wight. Any excuse to go to the Isle of Wight for that place. I loved it. I absolutely adored it.
And you eventually got spotted.
Yeah, so North Wales. So I got to do one of my dream jobs, which was to be like a children's uncle. That's what they used to call it back in the day. Now it's a children's entertainer. I'd like to think that they still call it a children's uncle, just out of love. But yeah, so I wound up in a place called Timawa, which was just outside of Rhyl. And I went, and that was really amazing. That was the thing that really did open it up. And I thought after being there, having that season and entertaining all the children who were just lovely, and all the grown-ups, again, equally lovely, that I believed that all things were possible and that I could make a lifelong career out of it, which was, funnily enough, one of the things back in the day when I was a young lad that my dad always said, you can't make a career out of this. Nobody ever made a career out of entertaining children for that long. You might get a clown or something, but it won't happen. And by that point, I was in North Wales entertaining the children on the camps. I did, I think I did about 3 sets of holiday camps whilst I was in North Wales, but I was based at Timawa for Haven Holidays, who now just called Haven, I believe. And it was just, it was an amazing time. You know, I was still learning the business, still doing stuff, entertaining children, and the children were like, and we were mad. We were mad people. The children were as mad as me. And and the lines were blue. It's like, who's entertaining who? Do you know what I mean? It was just, I would put on shows that the children would take part in, or children would get me to be in their shows. It got very silly. There was one time and I'm trying to put this in my head. I think I almost got fired for it because I said, right, we're all going to. I said, I think it was a week where the children, I was convinced they weren't a cultured bunch. And I thought, right, we're going to do something. We're going to do Swan Lake. And I think it was me and 200 children just leaping around and doing Swan Lake. But to make the outfits, he said, right, just go grab skirts. Anything. So all of a sudden, all these kids have all ran off. It just became this big mission, and we did this whole Swan Lake thing. I liked to perform, and I was supposed to do sports duties, and I was terrible at the sports duties. So there was a mate of mine, Steve Shaw, who would take the children for football on the grounds because I could never get up early enough. It was too early for me. I'm like, I'm a sort of 12 noon kind of guy. It was lovely. I was quite shocked to find out, you have 2 10 o'clocks in one day. It's quite an amazing thing. But it was, I was at this place, Timawa, North Wales, made some great friends. And funnily enough, I still go there and have a look at it and just wave. I mean, there are very few of the staff there, but I sometimes just drive up and just wistfully have a look at it and just think I used to get the children to play hide and seek amongst the caravans.
Couldn't do that these days.
And well, you couldn't, and I'd sing songs to them. They'd teach me stuff. I'd do the children's talent competitions. That was always great. Me and the Haven mates, we'd do our shows. It was such an education, such a huge influence on my life. And like I said, life affecting, life changing. I realised after that anything was possible. And the really strange thing was, there I was after years of trying in London to get on the telly, as we all do. There I was in North Wales, and somebody spotted me and said, I'm going to write a letter to the BBC about you. And I thought, oh, all right. Then the next thing I know, and the CV went as well, and the video went of me performing to the children and stuff. And I got this interview to go to BBC Manchester, and I met this gentleman who, again, another life changer, got me in. I'd never auditioned for television before like that. And I just basically took a suitcase of all the children's tricks and songs that I knew, and I had a banjo and a ukulele and everything, and just basically entertained everybody for an hour. And they said, right, we've seen enough. How would you like to do play school? And I kind of went, oh my goodness, all right. And it changed. Yeah, being at Timawa just cemented everything that I wanted. So I was I was children's uncle during the day. Would do some of the duties. Would perform at night. And because they hadn't paid a lot of money, there's not a lot of money in being a Haven mate. But you learn a lot, and you do it for love. So there you are. So it's worth doing, guys. It's worth doing. And at night, I can't believe I'm going to say this. At nights, I used to dance as a podium dancer in a club. Do you know what? When I become a really old grandfather, I can see it now. Just like, my son will be just like covering his children's ears.
Did you have a name?
Oh no! Oh no! I was just known as the Black Podium Dancer. Oh yeah, yeah. Me doing it. Oh yeah, there were loads of us that would do it, and there was us lads, and we'd be on podiums. And some of us had skimpy outfits and some of us just didn't. I didn't have a clue. But yeah, that was great fun. And I did that in order to get the money for my driving licence. So to pay for my driving lessons. And then I passed first time and I still carried on dancing. Yeah. Because then
That wasn't one of the questions. Oh, that didn't come up in my research.
No, it doesn't. I just like to drop it in there. But yeah. So, yeah, that's right. Mirrors Nightclub. That's right.
Do you still get down there?
No. It's in Northwest. It's in Northwest. I don't even think it exists anymore. It's a real shame. But I used to go there and strut my stuff. But yeah.
So,
but it all happened there. Sorry about that. But yes, I was there primarily to entertain the children, and it was again life changing. That if it hadn't been for my time in North Wales, I would not be on the telly. And it was really quite interesting because there was Real were investing a lot of money at making their seaside resort a really big resort. They wanted it to be Blackpool number 2 because everybody goes to Blackpool because you're kind of that close. And they Real wanted a bit of that, and so they spent money on this incredible seafront thing. And one of the things that they wanted to do was to put in the entertainment. And I remember going for the entertainment. There was a bunch of us, and it was an incredible night. And we were all. It was one of the nicest auditions that I'd ever had, because all of a sudden it was like we were our own audiences and performers. So we would literally it was almost like doing a party piece. So everybody was getting up and doing their bits, and it became, there was a guy who did the season in the end, but it was between me and him. And had I got the job, I wouldn't have gone to television. I think I still would have been entertaining children, but just not on television. And he got the job, and I kind of, licked my wounds, as it were. And the next thing I know, things happened, and I wound up on telly. It's just really weird.
So play school, you didn't eventually
No, I didn't do. No, because they shut the program down. They actually said that's the end of that. And what had happened was a lot of the play school people who'd worked on that had put together a new program called Playbus, which later became Playdays. And of course, I'd given all my information to, I hadn't given it. It was the BBC people in Manchester who'd sent all the stuff down. And there was this hubbub. This letter came back and it said, "We've seen your work. We'd like you to be on Play School." It was like, what? So it was all going to happen. It was all going to go crazy. Then the next thing was in the national press. It had been written, and that Play School was coming off the air after years, many years of educating and entertaining children. And I thought, well, that's that. And I found myself at a place called Chessington World of Adventures. And the next thing I know was an audition came through for Playbus, which later became Playdays. And I went along to do the audition. And again, it was one of those moments I couldn't believe I got the job. And it was, as a kid, you grow up and you watch these presenters and stuff. And I always used to think to myself, I'd love to do what they do. It looks like a whole bag of fun. And of course, I'd watch people like Derek Griffiths and Brian. You probably wouldn't know them because you're quite young.
Oh, thank you.
But, but I remember these guys, and it was just, I used to watch them. They were heroic. Absolutely heroic, and I wanted to be like them. I wanted to be there singing songs and being a bit silly, but actually, there's something educational in there. Johnny Ball was another one who was like that. And the next thing I know, I did this audition. Like I said, I got the job. And I suddenly realised, much as I wanted to be on the telly, I didn't know how to do telly.
Right, okay.
As a presenter, you just, it's one of those things. And I had to learn on the job, as it were. And people were very lovely and very empathetic, And when they loosed their rag with me because I couldn't do the job, it was for the right reason. It wasn't like, oh, we don't like him. Yeah. They just thought, he doesn't know what he's doing. So bless him, let's take him in the corner and just explain to him in a very subtle way that this is how you look at a camera, these are the lines you say, this is what's known as a mark, and telling me, how to interpret seconds and things like that, how to place children in places where they can be seen, the whole lot. They taught me everything, and it was literally on the fly. And they were very sweet with it, and it was great. It was a great thing. It was a great thing.
So at your stop, you had Chester, right?
Yeah, playground stop.
Yeah. Did you invent Chester? Or?
No, I did not. That was the creation of a lady called Claire Bradley, and Claire Bradley was a director, one of the many directors I got to work with on Playdays, and she was very lovely. And she watched. The one thing about Playdays programs were that they were loads of programs made by loads and loads of different people. So it was real sort of cottage stroke factory type television being made. And she wanted her programs to stand out. And also she wanted people to know which programs were hers. So she invented this puppet called Chester, which would only appear... this is how she did it, which would only appear on a Claire Bradley program. So you knew that it was Claire Bradley's because Chester was there. It's a bit like, I can't believe I'm just about to say this. So any cameraman working during the 60s and 80s, get ready to cover your ears. Some cameramen used to do things where they would literally, if they were on location or shoots, so as to identify it was them, they'd have a gnome. or just somewhere in the background in a shot. Where, as a human being, when you're watching, say, like an international news program or current affairs or something like that, you'd be watching the show and you wouldn't think there's a little green gnome for any apparent reason. And it's just... Do
you spot that now, that people are doing that when you're watching TV?
Do you know what? I don't think people do that anymore. I'd like to think they don't. But the thing was, but in Claire Bradley's case, to be fair to her, she did that as just a thing. But what then happened by complete accident was that people who were working on Playdays programs saw the puppet, saw the interactions and stuff, and just immediately wrote for Chester. So all of a sudden, this thing that was supposed to turn up periodically in certain episodes, all of a sudden would be in every other... He was in it for years. He would do bits.
Did you ever get jealous of him for getting more lines than you?
No. No, he was lovely. He was a great diversion. Yeah. I loved doing it because it was one of the things that, as somebody who was a children's actor, who started off entertaining children and still entertains children, it's nice to have as a string to your bow, to have a puppet. And sometimes with some children, it's what they can relate to sometimes, and that was always great fun. So sometimes I would be, turn up. So like a nursery or an activity centre for children, and we'd perform the episodes of Playdays, and we'd have, use some of the children in there, some of the parents as well. And some children were quite shy, and Chester was always a great icebreaker, particularly once he started to get known. Kids would be looking when they'd see Chester's case, and they'd know that Chester would be in the case.
Okay.
So, yeah, that was fun to turn up. And just say, so jealous of him? No.
So I think that's where I probably started watching you first in Playdays.
Yeah.
And it was very clever what you did, because as I got older, you seemed to move up in the kind of the TV that you started doing. So with, for example, Get Your Own Back, right?
Oh.
So I kind of grew up with you
Yeah.
because you moved along with the ages.
Yeah.
So how did you go from Playdays to Get Your Own Bag?
Well, to be honest with you, it was a very slow progression. And it was kind of suggested by an executive producer that I held in such high regard. And he knew stuff. And he said, I think it's about time we increased your age range. And I kind of went, really? Because I'm quite happy performing to preschool children. I really am. And you know, there was this rumour that they wanted children's programs, game shows and stuff to be done. And all of a sudden it was like my agent at the time and a guy called Peter Leslie, who worked as a director at the BBC. We all locked heads and came up with the format that became Get Your Own Bag. And in those days, they were just looking for a 15-minute show. And we did. We put it on for 15 minutes. But it took some years to get on the telly. It really took about 3 or 4 years. And the next thing is, once it took hold, it became like one of the BBC's biggest children's programs, which I still can't believe. But yeah, the progression was slow from preschool to in fact when I was still doing Get Your Own Bag, I was still doing preschool television. It was something I couldn't quite let go. I mean, it was my comfort zone, my wheelhouse and everything else. And doing Get Your Own Bag was that thing that I always wanted to do, because to be honest with you, a long time ago, I always wanted to be Bruce Forsyth. Because he could do everything. He could entertain, he could do game shows, and everybody loved him for
Generation Game.
Play
Your
Game,
cards, right.
Play Your Cards, right? You Bet, just loads of them. And I always fancied doing that, but didn't know necessarily how to do it. And this, the chance to create Get Your Own Bag with all the BBC people was just an incredible thing to do. So yeah, the progression was there, and it was very slow, almost in some cases I would argue slightly accidental, but it was a nice thing. It was a nice thing.
And then once you got on air with it, it never stopped, did it? It went on and on and on and on.
Yeah, I've got to admit, Simon, that was quite amazing. It was one of those ones where we were told back in the day, it was called a 3 and out rule. So you'd have 3 runs of a show, and then you'd can it. That would be it, three runs. So we did the first one. There was interest. We knew it could be amazing, because the kids in the studio at the time, when they saw the Gunge and everything else in the games, they said, when's the next one coming out? And that was a pilot. And we hadn't thought beyond the pilots. So that was amazing. So series 2 came. We're getting into our stride. It's looking good. Viewing figures were very nice, and they were looking at those. As far as we were concerned with series 3, that was the last one. So we kind of went, we'll just do it. We'll go out in a blaze of glory. So imagine we get to that. We get to the end of that, and everything was being dismantled. And then all of a sudden the notice went out and said, they want series 4. And we all just went, what? Really? And I said, yeah, we want series 4. And then series 4 became 5, 7, 8, 9, and it just kept going. It kept going, and it kept getting larger. And, people wanted to be on the show. People would come up to me in the street and say, I want to be on that show. I want to get my parents on that show. Yeah, but they won't let me.
I mean,
it became huge. It really did.
I mean, speaking of parents, what did your parents think about you being on this massive TV show all of a sudden?
Do you know what? I don't know, because they never said.
They must have been proud when you think about that conversation about being a children's entertainer with them, and now you've made it on TV. To them, you must have made it.
Again,
That's what I would like to think that.
I don't
be
know.
super proud of you.
I don't know. It was.
I mean, when you think about that story though, where you come from, right?
Yeah.
And now you're on TV.
Yeah.
Being watched by millions.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's one of those things where I'd like to have sat down with mum and dad and said, "What do you think?" But it just wasn't done. It just wasn't done. But that's kind of okay. I don't mind it. I mean, the thing about it is I think for a lot of people, they're very lucky in the sense if they do achieve some level of, sort of success or something, that somebody might say something. But I guess all they wanted from me was to make sure that I never got into any trouble. I think that was it. I think that was their chief concern, that I wouldn't end up being in trouble or just not having a very good life, as it were. But as it is, I spent a lot of my time entertaining children, and people who've liked me doing it. And, I have a small talent to amuse, which I've managed to make last at least 40, 50 odd years. And that was it. But I don't know. I'd like to think they're proud of me. They just hadn't said it. Not really. Sorry, this is completely. This is taken it's one of those things. As an interviewee, it's one of those things that I was always worried about. Where I know Mrs. Phillips is always worried that one day somebody's going to ask the question, and it was you that's done it. So, yeah. She always would say, yeah, keep it light, keep it fluffy. Please keep
trying to make you cry.
Yeah, keep it light and fluffy. Keep it light, because the sort of thing. Because we sometimes will look at things like Sunday Brunch. Other shows are available where they interview people, and she always imagines me being on it and saying, the mood is really light. And somebody says, "Oh, I bet your parents must be proud of you." And I was like, "Oh, actually, I don't know." It'd be like, "Oh." Thank you for letting me face that, because I was always very worried. It was the one. Funnily enough, it was the one question nobody ever asked. It was like that. Your parents proud of you? And the answer is, I'm not sure if they were.
But your wife is.
Mrs.
You met her on Get Your Own Back.
I think Mrs. Phillips is more long-suffering.
But you met her on set, didn't you?
I did.
Was that a romantic kind of moment where you locked eyes across the Gunge?
No, it wasn't eyes across the... Yeah, we stared at each other across a messy room. No, she was actually responsible for getting the children on the show. So she would spend her time, her and her friend, literally travelling the country looking for children. This is in the first series of, would you all like to be on a game show? It's the question they'd ask these children. They'd go to youth groups, children's centres, stuff like that. And they basically auditioned these children to be on the show. So that's how she and I met. And at the time she was going out with somebody, and I was quite sweet on her. And then, basically nothing happened between us for a couple of years while she was still going out with this guy. And then one day after a couple of years, we kind of went, well, I like you. You like me, sort of thing. Anyway, that's it. And after many years, she became Mrs. Phillips. So that's it. But yes, we did meet on the set of Get Your Own Back. So she was responsible for getting the children in, the contestants, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
She was actually what she was known as, a contestant researcher. That's what she did. And I was presenting the show. So yeah, it was really, that's how we met. And so we worked with each other, and we've worked with each other sort of on and off ever since. And we're married, and we've got a family, got a little boy. I say little boy, I now have to look up at him. He's got a deep voice and everything. It's kind
what does he think of you, what you do, or what you've done in the past?
I don't know. He kind of varies between pride an embarrassment because it's like, I think it was when he was a little boy, when he was toddling, he couldn't understand why people would come up to me and talk to me, and he was very defensive. And if you've ever seen a toddler defend, it's actually quite a scary thing. He's like, get out, it's my dad, get off him. And then as he got older, it would be, oh yeah, he's beginning to twig that, Dad must have done something on telly for children and adults to come up to him. And then as he got older, it's actually really quite funny now because he's doing high school at the moment. He's doing his mocks. And what's really funny is how his mates are with him. They go, oh yeah, your dad did this. And he's on the bottom. Look, and they find pictures of me and they give him to him, and he gets really embarrassed. And they try. It's a very interesting thing, but he's grown up with it. So there's, like I say, there are times when he's very, very proud of it, and there's times when he's kind of embarrassed. And he's also one of those things. It's like when I say to him, "Oh yeah, I remember doing something like that back in the day," and he's just like, he rolls his eyes and go, "Oh God, another one of Dad's stories," But he's, for the most part, he's all over the shop with it. I'm sorry.
What's in the Gunge then?
Can't tell you.
Okay, I'll ask you again.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay.
This is what this is about.
I'm going to keep asking. We get there.
Yeah, he'll just drop it in.
Yeah, but you accidentally forget, won't you?
No, it's one of those things we get asked it all the time.
Did you make it? Were you involved in actually making it on set?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
And it was like I used to call it liquid tons or fluid tons, and we would make tons of the stuff. I mean, litres, and I dread to think how many litres there were in a tank. And it was all people wanted. I mean, we were quite amazed that when we did it, in the studios, because we had the audiences all set up, people would applaud the Gunge. They would literally just go, yeah, we've seen that, and it was just amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And then we, when we did live shows, when we did stuff for the Big Bash and that, we had a live Gunge tank going for that. And that was just amazing. That was amazing. But it's a secret. We've never told what it is. And there are some people out there who've made their money and made their careers by actually mixing the Gunge together, because the ways that you can do it, you can make it as soup-like or as thick as you want. It's like, that whole viscosity thing going on.
Is it like a powder you mix together with water?
I can't tell you, man.
Almost.
Can't tell you.
Almost. I thought I had him then.
Can't tell you, man. Oh, no, I've had to do this for years, mate. Years. Come on, magicians, they never reveal their tricks. Come on, think back to the beginning of this interview. Think.
Did you ever get anyone who, like, you got to the final thing and then they laid eyes on it and like, oh no, I'm not doing it.
We had a lady who spent £400 on the hairstyle who played really badly at the games, and her son was like, hey, this is going to be hilarious. And she said no, she flatly refused. Anyway, we talked her into it. We did it anyway. But yeah, we got this spray. We could, it'll save you £400 worth of hair. It was no. So we've had people who've done it. We've had people who said no, like flat out no. We had one person who turned up and said, I've got a note from the doctors and said, I can't do it. I come out in boils, anything like that. We've had a few people, but for the most part, and I keep saying that phrase, but everybody who did it entered into the spirit of it. It really was fun and entertainment. And yes, people did go in the Gunge, and it was all on screen, and it was hilarious fun, to do. And the kids were made up for being on the show and playing the games. Some of the parents, they got messy, but they realised it was really coming from a good place and a good cause. So it was great. It was great.
And not all of them aired on TV, right? One episode was banned. Is that correct?
Oh, you really have done your research, haven't you? Okay, it actually did go out, but yes, it was banned. I can't believe that I'm going to say this. I thought it was going to be one of those things that were buried. Back in the day, because we used to have different methods of punishment, we realised that when we did get your own back, the grown-up got punished, but not necessarily the child, particularly if they had lost the games and stuff. So we had this thing, which is the forfeit furnace, which is what it was called. It was just this furnace, and it was rigged in a way where, well, let me explain what the furnace was. So if the child didn't get the grown-up in the gunge, they had to forfeit their most prized possession, all right? So it could have been favourite CD, their favourite...
I thought you were a nice man, Dave.
Oh, yeah, I'm a very nice man. Gave him a chance to win. It's all right. Anyway, pair of trainers, stuff like that. But a favourite toy. But what we had built for this forfeit furnace was a false bottom, which by magic terms you should know. So we had a ring, which is a gas ring. So you light the gas ring, the flames go up, and we can control the gas flow. So you get a lot of flame, little flame. And the floor, which was a sprung floor, false floor, would drop. So as long as you place the item in the middle, it would drop unharmed. It's not a problem at all. Great illusion. Until such day when we had this young lady in who had a collection of teddy bears, and she had hundreds of these bears, and she bought in the least popular bear the least liked bear. So we said, okay, we're going to do this. I'm going to put the bear in the middle and on the floor, and we practiced it in rehearsal. We got it, flames, everything else, and the girl was all right about it, and the family were all right about it, and everything else. And as she said, if anything happens to the bear, it's the least popular bear. I said, oh, okay, yeah. So we've done it, we've practiced it to within an inch of its life. And such is television. Some things are slightly out of your control. So there we are. So, right, well, you didn't get your parent in the gunge, your mother in the gunge. It's such a shame. You know what you have to do. You have to put your treasured possession in the forfeit furnace. Go to the audience, bang in the audience. She puts the bear in the middle, just as she practiced in the rehearsals, and we did a few rehearsals. For some reason, as the false bottom went down, the bear leant into the flames. I just want you to dwell on that for a moment. And you. Especially you. And the bear caught fire. Started to burn. I mean, really, you just
she was just stood there staring at this bear on fire.
Staring at the bear on fire, and the furnace went up.
What were you thinking at the time?
Well, I was thinking, yeah, this is going to make some great telly. and we hadn't realised just how scary the thing was to children. It was like, apparently it was a real nationwide hide behind the sofa moment. They talked about it next day in the House of Commons and the House of Lords. This is how far it got. There were letters of complaint, like you say, and now even when they do those programs where they do retrospectives, they cannot show the program. They cannot actually show the program because that many people were incredibly distressed, and I had to go on and make an oh God, yeah, I had to make an apology to on the Beeb, and I went on and I was on show with Anne Robinson, who just looked at me as if to say, you scumbag. And it was, and I spent what I could only refer to as a year of contrition. I literally had to go around, and there were lots of people who literally would hide their teddy bears when I did children's shows. So I'd be like, hello children, I'm going to sing a song. And it's like people hiding their teddy bears. And I had to do, when Rupert the Bear's 75th anniversary, because, Sir Paul McCartney couldn't turn up to do a specific opening. I got a phone call. I said, yeah, Dave, could you come along and celebrate Rupert the Bear's 75th birthday? And it was like, okay. Any reason as to why? You know why. And it was incredible. But I hadn't realised, not until I'd seen this retrospective programme, just how far it got. You know, I mean, we were literally, the producers were hauled into, they tried to smack our wrists. But by that point, the show was an amazing thing. It went out, and kids loved it, and they all wanted to be on it, and they all wanted things burnt in some cases. But the bear thing, that caught us out. But the girl was really sweet about it. She said, it's okay. It's a bear that I don't like at all. In fact, she had hundreds of bears, and she showed us this photograph of her room, just like hundreds of bears. So, and she said, this is the one that I got it in last week. I don't mind. But of course, the nation, Britain, loves teddy bears. They all love teddy bears, don't they? Everybody's got a cuddly teddy bear.
Yeah. And you mentioned Sooty earlier.
Yes.
The story of Sooty.
Yeah.
Is that because you worked on the show with them?
Yeah, I did. I got to work with Sooty. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. It was one of those times when, so Benji was very young. Mrs. Phillips and we didn't have a lot to do at the time. So we had a lot of time on our hands, and this phone call came out of the blue. And it was like, would you like to come and work on the Sooty show? Just to be on it. And it was like, came from Richard Cadell. And it was like, it's got to be done. I mean, Sooty, as a young child, I grew up watching Sooty. We all did. You know, and he's been going for nigh on 60 plus years. You know, so we'd all seen it. And I got to be in it. I couldn't believe it. So we're going to give you the parts of the genie, and you're going to come out of this lamp. You're going to have a messy pie fight. There might be a bit of Gunge involved. I don't know. And it was lovely. And it was 3 days we were filming on set with Sooty, Sweep, and Sue, who I've got to admit, right? Sue, I had a crush on when I was a little boy. Didn't know she was a panda. Didn't care.
Did you find
she was lovely?
You were talking to the puppets?
Oh, God. Yeah. And do you know what's really funny? I understood exactly what Sweet was saying. I thought, both Mrs. Phillips, we thought to ourselves, what is going on? You know, there's one that he's very quiet, and he says, what's that, Sooty? Oh, yeah, okay. And he's speaking to Richard. And I'll be like, Sue speaking to me, and I'm speaking to Sue, and I know there's somebody doing a voice somewhere. And it's like, I know, I'm just looking at Sue thinking, I love you. You're so lovely. And then they're oh, yeah, absolutely, Sweet. Yeah, it's outside. I came in the car. You know, and I'm thinking, hang on. You know, and it was just the most bizarre thing. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I didn't want it to end. It was just one of those things. I'm hoping, I know for a lot of people who have the chance to go on the Sooty show, very few people get to go on it more than once. And I'm hoping that one day I get asked again, because it's just the best. Just the best. I always fancied being like Sooty's right-hand man. That and Basil Brush.
Boom, boom. Are the other legends you've worked with, Chuckle Brothers?
Yes. Oh, Paul and Barry, that was the best. Funnily enough, when I was in the holiday camps, my then girlfriend at the time, as I said before, I was based in North Wales, and I'd never been to Blackpool. And it's one of those things that a lot of the Northerners and a lot of the people who were there at Tamawa said, you've never been to Blackpool? I said, no, don't know anything about it. I knew the name. And they said, well, in that case, then you've got to go. You have to go. So on my day off, my then girlfriend and she took me to Blackpool, and it was the most amazing place I had ever seen. And one of the things that we did, we went to the theatre in Blackpool. I think was it the Tower Theatre? I think it's the Tower Theatre. And the Chuckle Brothers had their show that they did. So they had the Chuckle Hounds, and they had the rest of the Chuckle Brothers troupe, which were known as the Patton Brothers. And they did their children's show, and that was another big moment for me, not only seeing Blackpool, but seeing these people who were clearly grown men entertaining children, and they'd done it for years. I mean, you know, and there they were performing to these, hello, Barry, to you, to me, to you, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And they were doing all of this stuff. And I thought, I want to be them. You know, because they were doing it not only in the theatre, they were doing it on the BBC. And then, of course, they then developed this comedy show, the Chuckle Brothers.
So then how did it feel from seeing them on stage in Blackpool for that first time to then actually being on the show?
Freaky. It was the most, again, it was one of those pinch me moments where I'm just going, I can't believe this. You know, years before I had watched you doing this, you guys were my inspiration. And of course, I had to tell them, and they, of course, they were more than made up. And you know, I've been around them after that. I was just one of those lucky so-and-sos who just got to, meet and work with my inspirations. It was great. It was absolutely amazing. But like I said, the Chuckle Hound show, and the kids were lapping it up, and you know, and the adults were just lapping it up as well. Everybody was loving it, and I was sitting there just looking at the audience. And then looking at the performing and just thinking, I want that. The only thing is I couldn't convince my brother to be the other hound. He'd run a mile if I had to put him on the stage. So there you go.
So then Get Your Own Back.
Yeah.
It went 14 series, did it go?
Yes, it did.
And then towards the end, they added a co-host, right?
Lisa Brockwell, Lisa B.
How did that feel when they pitched that to you, that you're going to add a co-host?
Great.
Were you okay with that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. They said sometimes, I think it was because they were just worried that there was quite the workload. And also just to give it a variant. I mean, the thing about Get Your Own Back was that it went through different sort of genres and strands and tried different things. So we had, even Chester turned up. He did a series on Get Your Own Back as well. He used to look at him and Algernon, it's short for Algie, right? Because Algie used to live in the tank, and Chester used to come along and have a chat. So even Chester got in on it. So you had all the Playdays children watching, and all the nans and granddads and everything.
And so you did a celebrity version too, right?
Yeah, we did celebrity versions. Yeah, so we did all of those, and yeah, we did. And Lisa B was wonderful. It's the kind of thing. I'm very lucky that I got to work with her. She was lovely, good woman. Really was. She was just exactly what the show needed. You know, she was lively, and she also kept me in check. So that's never seen as a bad thing.
And then the celebrity version.
Yeah.
Who's your favourite celebrity that you got to Gunge?
Oh my goodness. Oh God. Right. I'm just trying to think. Because who did I have on the show, the celebrities?
Because you got Gunge, didn't you? You got Gunge by Mr. Blobby, right?
I did.
What was in that Gunge?
Oh, I can't tell you.
Keep trying.
But I did that. Peter Simon. That was it. Peter Simon. I've had Peter Simon in the Gunge a few times. That was fun because he used to do Double Dare. And he was another one I got to hang around. He was quite fun. When I saw his Double Dare game show, I thought I need to do a live version of Get Your Own Back. So he was another inspiration I got to work with. But yes, the one that there was the one episode where I got covered in Gunge, and that wasn't fair because it was just like me against Mr. Blobby. Mr. Blobby was asking the questions because most people know that I'm a big old fan. Back in the day, I used to be a big old fan of Trivia Pursuit, and I quite like quizzes and stuff. And sometimes with certain questions, when they asked the people questions, sometimes they needed to check and verify. And although they had done it, sometimes they used to run it past me. I go, that's not quite right because, you know, this, that, and the other. And of course, they realised on 1 year. When you asked me the question, I was trying to wrap my brains. and it was really funny because they once asked me a question to keep me out of the Gunge, to see if they can get me in the Gunge, and they were certain it was going to happen. It was a biblical question, it was a religious question. It said, name the 3 wise men.
Balbazar.
Ooh,
I can't remember the other 2.
yeah. All right. Well done, you, because it was Caspar, Balthasar, Melchior. I'm pleased you know, because most people don't. They just know them as the 3 wise men, and of course I said that, and they were all I can remember was all the camera people, and they just go, "You scumbag," and it was that again, and it was like, you know, and so on this particular year. Dad, Mr. Blobby, and it was Peter Simon, because I thought, Peter Simon's going in the Gunge. That's Timmy Mallet. We had Timmy Mallet on. He didn't go in it. He was a very clever man. Wasn't having that. But I remember the next thing was Peter Simon came in and said, actually, Dave, I'm not going anywhere near the Gunge or playing the games. It's going to be you. So they completely turned the tables, and I was the host. Yeah. And all of a sudden, I'm on my own show playing my own games and thinking, nah, this ain't right. This is scary. And yeah, so they had me, and they put me at the top of the Gunge tank, and it was Mr. Blobby who they brought in to ask the questions. And of course it's just Blobby, and I'm thinking, I don't know. And I went in, and that was it. But we had quite a few celebrities in. We had loads of people in. And I'm just trying to think of loads of lads, loads of ladies, quite a few pop people. Did we have H from Steps in? I think we did. We had loads. I mean, I wish I'd known this because I would have brought in the list. It was a really impressive list.
Was it hard to get people to go on it?
Do you know what? But I think by that time, most people had heard of it. So it wasn't necessarily a hard sell to the celebrities. I think a lot of the time they just didn't want to get all messy and everything else. But that said, when I think they realised what was going on, because it was at the time a really big children's TV Gunge game show. And it was like, you know, we had people who did turn around and go, no. But for every one person that said no, we had 5 people who said, yes, get us in. So, yeah, it was really, it had some legs.
And was there any rivalry between you and Pat Sharp? Because obviously Pat Sharp used to...
Oh, goodness. Yeah, during the 90s, there was the battle between Blur and Oasis, and the other battle was between Funhouse and Get Your Own Back. That's right. We were the Blur and Oasis. I'd like to think I were both of them, but no, it was. He was another one that I met as well when I was entertaining at Chessington World of Adventures. He used to bring his family in, and so I used to entertain his kids. So, and then of course, we've got these 2 amazing game shows literally pitched against each other. And it was all about who was going to watch who. I mean, were you a Get Your Own Back kid or were you a Funhouse kid? You know, everybody could sing the theme tunes of each. Everybody knew the formats of each. It was really quite scary. And we would meet and go, whatever. But that said, no, there's no rivalry. Do you know what? There's friendship, which is quite sweet, actually. I was only talking to Pat. No, I left him a message last week. And he leaves his voice messages with me, which is always good fun. And we've done, up until recently, we used to host an event called Let's Rock, which was an 80s music event. And that would be done in a field, a touring festival, believe it or not, up and down the country. And we would literally descend this it'd take us a week to erect, and then about 2 days to take it down. And on one day, the Saturday, you'd have all the 80s bands in. So you'd have people like the Human League coming in, Nick Kershaw, Hue and Cry, the Selector, various 80s artists, solo and otherwise. And we would descend upon, various parks and locations around the UK. And hosting the event would be a guy from Brother Beyond, Nathan Moore, who's very nice, very handsome, and all the ladies like him. And then Pat Sharp and myself will be on stage bringing on all these 80s acts and things. And yeah, so we work with each other a lot, and we do talk about the old days and stuff.
What I found interesting about that was his Gunge was a little bit different to yours, wasn't it? Yours was a bit thicker, wasn't it? It had that stuff in it.
It could be as thick or as thin as you like.
What did it have in it? That I can't think what you said it was.
It's because I didn't say.
we get there. So when you'll let it slip in a minute. You will let it slip. Don't worry, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. He's cracking.
I'm so sorry, yes, but as you carry on.
So when Get Your Own Back come to an end, where were you when you found out? Was that a phone call? Was that a letter?
Well, no, to be honest, it was one of those things. I think it was a phone call. And I think it might have, I don't think it was a letter. We just all kind of naturally knew that it had to come to an end. I mean, they'd done the repeats, and the repeats had gone about 2 years after the show had actually been taken off the air. Not taken off the air, actually made, produced or anything. And so we knew that the end was coming, but it was just a very quiet one. And maybe that's the way it should have gone. I mean, I'd love to have done the Blaze of Glory show, where we did like a retrospective of all the past Gunges that we've loved and hated, the people who've been on and everything else. You know how they do with some shows where they'll sit there and they'll say, you know, I was on this show and it was great fun. Thanks a lot, everybody. But we never got to do it. So it just became that thing that was either there or not. And every now and again, you know, if there was a space in the schedule, they put it in. So it went very slowly.
And then from there, did you go to Disney? You worked?
No, Disney. Disney I'd been doing alongside. I was basically doing anything that came in.
Bit like when you were doing the dancing. You did 2 jobs at the same time.
Oh,
right?
yeah. But I mean, people do that now. I mean, people have often do 2 jobs or more than 2 jobs. But that was a really nice. That was a nice one, doing the podium dancing. And I think of that every now and again when I'm sitting and driving the car. I think, I know what I had to do to get this. Yeah, that's what I'm prepared to do, baby. Yeah, I'm prepared to dance, yo.
And you did, what was the other one? With Justin Fletcher was on it too, wasn't it? Mr. Tumble was on it.
Fun Song Factory, which again, life changer, another life affecting one for a lot of us, including Justin Fletcher. And it was this show that was done, and they literally. You're right there. You're looking.
Yeah, I'm just reading what question is next.
Oh God, that's where you're getting them from. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'll make this real quick.
No, don't make it quick.
We because there's a lot of questions there, man. I mean, literally, I've just seen the questions.
We've skipped quite a lot of questions.
Have we?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I worry about your time.
Oh, no.
I know you're a busy man. I mean, your phone's been ringing off the hook.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry about that. Yeah, these bailiffs, they don't chase themselves. Anyway, no. Just ask me all the questions. We did this. I was approached by Ian Loughlin and Will Brenton, who later became Telltale, who later became the people who came up with the Tweenies. Right. And they had come up with this show, Fun Song Factory.
So I heard you got put forward for a tweenie, right? But your agent said you were too talented to be a tweenie. Is that right?
He got the wrong end of the stick. He thought I was going to be inside the outfit. And as far as he was concerned, that's not happening. Hadn't read the memo. Had not read the memo. And I'd actually verbally said, you know what, guys, get me in. Because I believe what you guys are doing. It's brilliant. I've seen what you do. I trust what you do. Done the Fun Song Factory. You know, I love entertaining the children. Let's go. It's what happens when you don't read memos properly. Mm. And yeah, that's a kick in the pants. That's a real kick in the pants because, you know, much as I used to bring it up with him, which is why he wasn't my agent after that. But as far as he said, water under the bridge. You're thinking, no. But yeah, it's absolutely true. It's true. It's true.
Do you keep in touch with anyone? Because, I mean, was it someone from JLS was in it, in the Fun Factory, weren't they? In the Fun Factory?
Oh, yeah, Aston Marigold.
Yeah.
He was...
Maybe you should give him a call and show him your dance moves.
Oh, no. He came in after me when they rebooted the Fun Song Factory. So we'd done the first ones, and they were just... It wasn't meant to be a TV series. It was literally a one-off video that everybody went, this is brilliant. And somebody asked the question, is there another one? Are there more? And then one video became 2, became 3, became 4, became a TV series for Good Morning Television, GMTV at the time. And, you know, it just never went away. And then, of course, they did the reboot with Aston Marigold from JLS. And yeah, it's just, that was wonderful. I wasn't connected with that one, but it was wonderful to watch. And, you know, I was quite envious. And they were so young and lively. So young and lively. I used to be young and lively once.
Did you spot?
Let's take a moment to. Okay, as you were saying.
Did you spot his talent?
Well, Aston Marigold.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gorgeous. He can sing. He's a triple threat. He can dance. He can remember his lines. Yeah, it's all there.
One thing I was going to ask you about is that you're a very talented musician, aren't you? So you've actually performed with the Liverpool Philharmonic, haven't you?
Well, yeah, on the spoons, but I was very lucky. I got to work with them on a couple of concerts. Mrs. Phillips and I wrote very briefly for a while. We wrote different versions of things, and we would do concerts that would introduce Liverpool's children to what orchestras are. I mean, you know, as towns goes and cities goes, they've got this philharmonic orchestra on their doorstep, and every now and again that venue would throw its doors open to all the areas, schools, and they would come in by the thousands. And Mrs. Phillips and I, we had written concerts and things. We were approached to do things because I had done that thing where I'd worked with them on a concert and said, I could do stuff like this. And somebody took me at their word. And I went, okay, now I'm going to go off and learn how to write a concert. And it was great fun. It's great fun. Did about 3 or 4 of those. And it was just amazing. And yeah, I did play a little bit with them, but it's really fun. I mean, if you've ever been amongst musicians of that order, they are brilliant. They are. You refer to them as sight readers. Do you know what I mean by sight readers? No. So, right. So when you sing a song, all right, you probably have to learn it. Or you have to hear it, learn it, sing it, repeat it, all the bit, and you get it in your head, read the words, karaoke, what have you. Sight readers are people who can basically come in, sit down and read the music score. You know those dots and squiggles that just looks like weird stuff that you can't decipher?
Semi-quavers.
Yeah, there you go, all the bit. So these guys would come in and they would sit and go, oh, right, okay, that's what we're playing today. All right, fine, thank you. And they play what they read. And that was it. And these guys were amazing. And I really wanted to learn how to. That was supposed to be the payoff, but I didn't have enough time to learn how to do all those technical bits. But what we would do was we'd write the story, and then we would suggest musical pieces. And then I would then say to the composers, right, and I want you, and I put it on the table, I go, I want you at this bit to go with the double basses, I want you to go boom, 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 boom. Which are these notes, and I'd play it on a piano. And it was like, that's how I did it. So I kind of cobbled things together in my head, as it were, and then tried to put them on the tape. And thankfully, they were intelligent enough to decipher it, which is great. You know, they could speak Dave, which is a wonderful thing. But yeah, I did a few of those concerts, and they were just lovely. And I used to get to go in and narrate on things. So things like, have you ever heard of a piece of music called Tubby the Tuba?
No.
Oh my goodness! Right, so here's your education. After this, go listen to Tubby the Tuba, Peter and the Wolf.
Yeah.
Right, Peter and the Wolf. Okay, so you know that kind of thing. So there were these composers who would do things like Peter and the Wolf, of course, was Prokofiev. And he wrote primarily to show off the instruments and what they did and how they could be interpreted. And he wrote that whole Peter and the Wolf, and he did it like that. And that was primarily to introduce children to orchestras and things. And you just think, wow. So that's how I got involved with them. And I got to write a few concerts with them. That was hysterical fun. And we've still got one that's out there called We're Going on a Bear Hunt, which every now and again orchestras up and down the country get to play. And Mrs. Phillips, myself, and a guy called Ian Stevens wrote that and he did some great work on it. Oh, good grief, he's good. He was good.
How did you learn all these instruments? So you play the guitar?
Yes.
The piano?
I get round it.
And as I said earlier, I saw you on YouTube with the trombone.
Oh God, yeah, that's a struggle.
You got a few things.
Yeah, it's a real struggle. It's one of those things. I pride myself on being able to play anything that I'm given, but the fact of the matter is that I can't. Percussion, I love doing. It's a lovely thing. It's a very spiritual thing. Strings, yes, I can. But again, it's one of those things where, you sit down and have to practice it. But things that you blow, difficult. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that expression off your face. Wipe that up. No, go. Compose yourself right now. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So as I was saying, things that you blow, I find blowing stuff very difficult. Because there's a real technique when it comes to blowing, and as a performer,
would you share your technique of how to blow?
I would do, but if I could do it for you, but I just end up covering this microphone in saliva, and it's just.
You might find out what's in the gunge.
No, certainly not that, and you don't blow on it either. But yeah, it's one of those things. And trombones, I always found there's two instruments that I want to be proficient on before I die. One of them is the double bass. There's something about, I play a bass guitar anyway, but there's something about standing and playing a bass, a double bass, and it just, I think it would feel right. I once was in a show where I had to mime being in a jazz band. And it was unfortunate. It's one of these, and the way they'd strung it was you could whack it as much as you want, but it wouldn't make a sound. It wasn't meant for that. So they'd play the tape over it. It's going, slapping this back. And it was just, and of course, I saw myself back on the when they did the recording, and I just looked like I knew what I was doing. And I thought, I have to do that. And the other instrument I want to master before I die is the trombone. And I'm having such a problem with it. I mean, I range from making an odd noise by accident to a sliding scale to sometimes what sounds like a very, very, very wet fart. And it sounds... I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about my language, everybody, but it's the only way that I could describe it. If there are young people watching this, you might have to put out a note and saying that I do say some dubious stuff. But yeah, it was
because when I started secondary school, they had like an open day where you could go and choose a music instrument to go and play it. And I tried to do the trumpet, and I couldn't get anything out. Yeah, because it is that like.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
And then I tried the trombone, and again, it's like.
Yeah. I wound up sort of blowing through it and making humming noises. Yeah. In fact, that's what I do. When I'm playing the guitar, I sometimes do these solo gigs where I sit there and I might be just playing some, almost like lounge music. And every now and again, because it's just me on my own, and I've got like a couple of effects pedals and, little tappy drum. And I'm there, tapping away, and then all of a sudden I'm like, hi, that sort of thing. And so That's that. But I wish I need to play it. And I had all these trombone people all phoning me up and sort of interneting me and saying, right, this is how you do it, Dave. And one by one, they've all stopped calling me because they realised it's a bit of a lost cause.
Okay. Grange Hill.
Yeah, what about it?
You were an education consultant?
Yeah.
What was that?
Entertainment consultant.
Entertainment, okay.
Yeah, okay. So what happened was somebody knew that I did like lots of performing things like circus skills and things. And every now and again, I get the phone call where, you know, I put up on my... there's a lot of things I do. There's a lot of things that I possibly can't do. But when most people phone me up, they say, Dave, we need the following. Can you do this? And I always fancied myself as the go-to guy for whatever it was. If there was something that you needed to know, if there was a skill that you think I could impart, call me. Somebody said, we need one of the cast members of Grange Hill needs to be able to juggle. Can you teach them? And I went, yeah. And so I turned up. He was a lovely man. Wound up doing juggling in some Hollywood film years after. And I thought, I taught him. But yeah, and it was really nice to be able to go in with my balls and equipment and stuff and say, right, I'm going to teach you how to juggle. Let's find out what you need. You know, talking with the director and stuff, and said, what do you need him to do? I said, I just need him just to juggle keep three balls in the air for 30 seconds for a scene. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, it's okay. And yeah, we got together. I did 3 meetings with him, and he'd already cracked it by the end of meeting 1. But it's just a case of, so the first time, teaching him how to do it, and he clearly had the aptitude for it. The second time I went to see him, he'd more or less practiced a couple of the tricks. By the third time, I just sat back and just went, yeah, you're fine. And that was nice to do. That was really nice. I like those kind of jobs where, you know, being a consultant, being asked to impart a skill, you know.
And how many balls can you juggle?
On a good day, you've got some about, haven't you?
No.
17. No, on a good day, I still do 3-ball juggling. Every now and again, I do 4-ball, and I've only ever done 5 balls once. I can't do it. See, it's one of those things. It's like you know where your wheelhouse is, and you know where your comfort zones are. And I do 3 balls a lot, not as often as I used to, and I should do more. But yeah, 3 balls is where I'm comfy. 4 balls if I have to, but like I said, 5 once. This is where he now turns around. If he was a really good interviewer, he'd say, well, it just so happens that I got some balls in the next studio and a live audience.
Do people still shout catchphrases out? He's still recognised?
Do you know what? That's debatable. I am. Sometimes it's just in the weirdest places. So yeah, I'm still recognised. A lot of my stuff, I guess, because I've done a lot of shows for children. So for some reason, people like to pass things on to children. So I've kind of recognised sort of by child. They kind of look at me and go, that Wizened Old Man looks a bit familiar. And they go, oh, yeah. And then adults, they sometimes do it. It's like adults are quite funny. Some of them get right enthusiastic. Oh, it's you. You were my childhood. Some people just, once. Oh, yeah. Maybe I shouldn't say. But, okay, so there was... I'd accidentally walked in on a sting operation in a bar. Oh, God. I was there for a social drink, and this guy came across it. I need to put it in the way with him. You are my childhood. Now be off. And he said, now get out. I said, why? He said, we're just about to arrest someone. I went, oh, see there. So that was nice. That might not translate too well, but you get some adults who just come up to me and just say, you are my childhood, mate. Thank you very much. It always tends to be blokes. A lot of men for some reason. Get your own bar. I attract a lot of men. A lot of men come up to me and say, "Thank you for being my childhood," or "You were part of my childhood," or "I watched you." So that's nice. Ladies do too, which is nice. But do I get recognised? Not as often. When it was out, I couldn't go anywhere. I mean, I really couldn't. It was great. Very rock starish. And then, like I said, when Benji, my son, was born, and the years went by, that was still being recognised. But of course, when he sees it through his eyes, he's wondering, why were these people talking to my dad? And that was really sweet. But yeah, do I get recognised? Not as often. And when I do, it's kind of nice. It's like, oh yeah, that's right, I did that. I remember that.
So next time you see Dave in a shop, go and bother him because he likes it.
Oh no! Well,
go and annoy him.
All right, as long as you pay for my shopping. Don't mind. Yeah, well, very cheap. I won't say where. The word sounds like fiddles. All right, yeah. There you go. Other shops are available.
And you did university tours? Did you do Fresh Affairs?
Yes, I did. Yep.
And you've done some random things, right?
Yep.
The Dark Destroyer. Tell me about the Dark Destroyer.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was young and needed the money. That's all I'm saying. I like you because you laugh at my stuff. Mrs. Phillips doesn't laugh at my stuff anymore. We've been around each other a long time. Okay. Yeah, the Dark Destroyer. I'm thinking that you're referring to my days as the wrestler.
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness for that. I thought we were going back to the podium dancing again. So, yeah. I did a stint as a stripper back in the day. Yeah, no, I'm joking. Or am I? Anyway, so there I was doing a long time ago, and it came again from Pontins, Canberra Sands, looking for a job in between the seasons, between Canberra Sands and my next holiday camp job. And I was offered the chance to do wrestling back in the day, and I hadn't wrestled properly up until a few years back. Well, I was brought out of retirement as the Dark Destroyer for Brighton Pride, and it was a fundraiser, and it was myself and Los Federales. And it was me and Session Moth Martina, that was who, and we did a tag team match.
You actually wrestled. You actually punch in and you were kicking.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I used to do that back in the day. Back in the day, I was trying to get out of a pub. but get up.
How long ago did you do that?
Oh, the wrestling
match.
That wrestling match. Oh, I can't remember now. It's a few years back. But you can find it on the internet if you search.
Yeah, I watched the clip of it.
Yeah,
I was shocked that you actually got involved.
Oh yeah, wrestling. I don't mess about. You don't mess about.
And that was after your I say career high, kind of went down a little bit. And we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
But what did it feel like? Because the crowd were chanting, "Oh, Dave Benson Phillips."
Yeah. It was.
Oh, Dave Benson Phillips.
It was very weird. It was a very strange thing because, of course, somebody had seen me about a couple of months before. I was entertaining children at a Horsham Day event, and it was one of those things where I had let it slip because I'd met the guys some years before, Kapow Wrestling, and they're local wrestlers. They're really good. They are, and it was really funny. And I'd say, oh, I did a bit back in the day, but nothing like you guys. So get in the ring. So all right, do a couple of minutes. So I'm way out of shape. I'm too old, but I'll give it a go. And I went in and I thought, oh, I've knocked the rust off. That was fun. Not realising, as with all things nowadays, when you do something, people watch you. People see the event immediately, but there's always somebody with a mobile phone. And they had a camera. They used their camera on me and put it up online. And the next thing I know, I was approached to do some wrestling, and it was just the most amazing thing. There I was in Brighton doing this event, and it was bonkers. It was bonkers. I hadn't done it. So there was me and Martina and Los Federales, who were the baddies, and we were the goodies, and we just went to town. And the audience was nuts. And apparently it was oversubscribed. Apparently we were only meant to perform to 200 people. So like 500 odd people later. I mean, it was just, bonkers. And I got approached to do some other ones. I did a battle royale. One guy wanted me to go up to Sheffield to wrestle him. And I was going to go, yeah. But that turned out to be, it was his house.
Have you had some?
And I went, no, I didn't go.
Have you had some dodgy requests and stuff like that?
Oh. Oh. I'd love to, but I've had some very dodgy requests, and I'm. Only when the cameras are off. I'm really sorry. Some of them are just, there are some strange people out there, strange people with money, and that's what I'm saying.
Did it involve Gunge?
Might have done. I said no. Mrs. Phillips would say, hang on a minute, think this through. But I'd always say no. So there you go. I think I know what you might be alluding to. This is going to make one heck of a Christmas tape. Okay, so... right, okay, where do you want to go with this?
Go for it.
No! I just need to know the specific area. What do you want to talk about?
What do you think I'm talking about?
You're good. Not that good, though. Now, come on. Come on, what do you want?
Is there a safe story you can tell?
I'm going to say, is there a safe word? So I was just checking. Oh God. Yeah, where you going with this?
We can move on. Let's move on.
Moving on.
Moving on. I'm going to bring the mood down. Okay.
Okay.
But talk about something really serious.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm not sure how long ago it was now, but obviously there was a time where someone said you had been killed.
Oh, right. Okay. That one. All right.
And this was, you were probably one of the first people to be trolled like that.
Yeah, I mean, well, the first I'd heard of it, that sort of thing, was, and I better explain to the uninitiated or those who don't know. So there was a spate of what they had was, they had a spate of what's called celebrity deaths, where people put about a rumour that a celebrity had died, but in a certain way that didn't sound serious, and it was quite funny. So to give you an idea, there was a presenter of a show called Art Attack, and his name was Neil Buchanan. Fantastic art series, great art series. And what they had said online was that Neil Buchanan had died. And the way they wrote it was, Neil Buchanan of Art Attack has died from a heart attack. That was what they were trying to allude to. And people believed it, including myself. I actually remember contacting Neil Buchanan's agent and sort of saying, I'm so sorry to hear the news, because I always wanted to work with the guy. And she said, no, he's perfectly alive and well. We don't know what's going on. And these rumours started coming about. Chuckle Brothers had one as well, where they died from a humour-related incident, as they were said. In my case, though, and I'm still trying to find the humour in it, because those are just two examples. But my death was, apparently I had been killed in a car crash on the way to a comedy gig in Torquay, which sounds totally plausible. Doesn't sound funny at all. And the awful thing was people believed it. I mean, really believed it. I just remember Mrs. Phillips coming down and saying to me, and it happened on 2 occasions actually, or within the space of about 48 hours. So we had a dead seagull sort of in the house, because we live in a house near the sea. And so, of course, we got a seagull. And I was cleaning out the seagull, which had drowned in the gutter, in the drain, sorry. And Mrs. Phillips came down and said, listen, you need to take this call. And it was like, okay. And it was one of my oldest friends. It was Nick saying, Dave, are you all right? I went, well, yeah, absolutely. I was just cleaning a dead seagull out the gutter around the house. And he said, sorry, we thought you were dead. And I kind of went, well, what? But that wasn't the first one. The one that really got to me was my mum, who was working in hospital at the time. She was just about coming up for retirement, but she was going in and doing her last days. And everybody was a bit weird around her. This is what I got now secondhand from mum. And she had said, basically, everybody didn't know how to talk to her until one of them sparked up the courage to say, how can you come in and work today when your son has been declared dead? And she went, what? She said, yeah, your son's dead. It's on the news. It's on the internet. There it is. And so she saw this and she just dropped everything and got to the phone, phoned Mrs. Phillips. Mrs. Phillips said, no, he's here in the house. He's fine. And she wouldn't get off the phone until she heard my voice. And that was quite hellish. In fact, the whole family started doing that as well. And loads of other people. And it was just this rumour. I want to say just this rumour. But there were loads of these things put out where all of a sudden I wasn't contacted or they thought I was dead. And other rumours that stopped me from working. In some cases, years. So
that's heartbreaking, isn't it, really, when you think about loved ones thinking that about being put in
anybody
that
thinking
situation.
Somebody put out an untruth online, and that's the thing about the internet. It is a wonderful and powerful device, but in the wrong hands, if you've got if you've got an axe to grind and you want to really hurt someone, just put it up online. I mean, that's what happened in our case. I mean, funnily enough, the rumours came out. Benji was born. He was about 2 years into it, so it's about 10 years. Yeah. So by the time Benji was still 10, I was still not working because there were rumours that I died in the car crash or that I, suffered a mental illness. And as a children's entertainer, other things that they hinted at which were not true. But people out there took it seriously enough to say, no, we won't employ him, we won't have him. And that was dark. That's a particularly dark time. We've never got to the end of it. We don't know who did it. We don't know how many people did it. We don't know who was involved. We just don't know. I don't know. But the thing about that, and now funnily enough, that goes back to life affecting things as well. Because in the same way where everything in my life constituted to my doing something along the way constituted to my not doing something. And that's a frightener. And funnily enough, I'm still living with the effect of this. I did an interview not too long ago, and I thought, I've managed to work past it. But funnily enough, it's still there. It's amazing how it sticks. And it's amazing how something like that affects your life afterwards. It's like, I'm still working, but, I've always got almost a look over my shoulder just in case if anything's happening. And that's a tough one. That's a tough one to live with.
Do you have any advice for young people who are out there creating content and having to put up with like internet trolls and?
Oh dear. The awful thing is, it's like, you know, you could say as long as you know what your truth is and you can still stand behind it. But unfortunately, we live in an era now where they can mess with that. And I dread to think what people can do. I mean, there's wonderful stories that I hear where people who have been trolled on the internet have managed to corner their trolls. Those stories are few and far between. But, you know, all you can do is just to be yourself, be ready for it and be ready to fight for it. Because even though you do that, where you hope that the platforms will turn around and say, listen, we're going to save you. They don't necessarily. We had that. And I'm still not legally allowed to mention it, but there was a company based in the south of England whose social platform was one of the ones that were perpetrators of the stuff. And then when we went to them to say, we know it's you, what can you do about it? They blocked us and kept their platform going. So we couldn't get at anything. And as far as I know, it's still going now. It's, you know, they're bringing in laws, but they're not tough enough. And the companies who have these internet platforms should be made as transparent as possible, to have a human as face as possible, to have people who are specifically there to deal with these things. Because I can tell you from my own experience that it's not great. It's not a nice thing at all, where, you know, I woke up one morning, I've got a family, my boy's just born, and I can't support anybody. And that's a frightening thing. And, you know, the reason why you can't support anybody is because somebody out there has thrown a rumour up that people believe. And, yeah, it's tough. It's not so bad now I can talk about it. And, you know, people do phone me for works, which is lovely. I mean, yeah, you heard the phones going off. But it's taken a long, long time. Really has. I mean, we've just had, I mean, there was one that really did hammer home to me, and hopefully I'm going to rectify that one next year. But I had a 25-date tour, again, for children. Love this. And it was just me and my bear, Big Bear, and we were just about to do 25 dates around the UK. And then all of a sudden, everything went very quiet. We were just about to make the announcement. So everything went quiet. And we couldn't understand. And we were phoning all the theatres, and the theatres were all saying, no, you've cancelled the show. So what do you mean? Cancelled the show? He said, somebody, your agent said you're not going to do the show anymore. We've given away your dates. Don't know who it was. But we went from 25 dates to nothing. And somebody out there pretending to be my agent cancelled an entire tour. We don't know who it was. We had 2 tours that we did. Two shows that we did. And one we publicised, and the theatre, who was in the north, publicised theirs locally. We did it as an experiment. The one that we publicised in the south of England, that Mrs. Phillips and I publicised, got cancelled. But the one that was in the north didn't. And we don't know why. We're just thinking because we didn't yell about it. Mm. And that was a frightener. That was a frightener. And for years afterwards, I wasn't sure whether to put on a children's show or not.
It's like you're being targeted, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. And it's a scary thing. It's a scary, scary thing. And strangely enough, it's one of those things, when I thought about it, I tried... Oh, all right, I'll say it how it is. I was approached just recently to do a theatre show locally, where, you know, we would produce the show, I perform the show, and we'll see what happens. And do you know what? I almost didn't do it because I was actually quite frightened that it's going to happen again, that I'm going to try and publicise the show and somebody shuts it down for whatever reason. And then it became unavoidable. So I'm going to do the show next year. And I look forward to doing it. But the thing is, it was a scary thing because there was somebody out there or somebodies who were just basically, I don't know, is it cancelling? I think it's cancelling. But yeah, that's dark. It's a particularly dark time. And like I said, when it first happened, it happened with all of those dates. And then it only happened then with the one theatre date. So like I said, I'm going to be doing a show next year, which I'm in the process of putting together. Again, it's just for children. And yeah, I want to see if I can do it without somebody's affecting it in some way. Just, it's really, it's not nice. So that was one. And then, of course, you get all the other online rumours as well.
I mean, if you could have a one-to-one with that person who did that, what would you say to them?
I don't know. Do you know what? Well, the first thing would be, why? Why would you do such a thing? And what possessed you to do this? Was it, do you hate me? Was it an experiment? Did you? I don't know. It's so many questions. I still do every now and again, but not as much as I did. I would be angry about it because I didn't know who to point it towards. And Mrs. Phillips was saying, we've got to find a way to get past this. And I said, it's pretty tough because, it affects us, it affects our life. And now our son, who's born into the middle of this, he doesn't know. He sees, with our boy growing up, with our Benj growing up, he's seen me a lot. And I think that's the only maybe good thing. That's what Mrs. Phillips said. The only good thing about this is you spent a lot of time with your son. Because by and large, I should by rights be going out there, having my seasons. And by seasons, I mean periods of time where I know I've got to work, periods of time when I know that I'm definitely at home. Tours and things to do, television to do. I mean, my formats came off the telly and things didn't get developed after that. And I was suddenly a man with a lot of free time and a lot of scripts and things. And I was there to be able to sort of, look after my son on a daily basis, change his nappies, do the routines and everything else, which is something that I don't begrudge. But it just would have been nice to be able to say to him on a regular basis, listen, I'm off to work, give us a kiss, mwah, go. And I didn't have that, not for quite some time. So having to work hard and saying to people, literally I spent years saying to people, I'm not dead, I'm not dead, I'm not dead.
Did people get in contact with you, like who you'd worked with before?
Well, people didn't know what to do. I mean, once they heard from Mrs. Phillips and myself, then they were all right about it. It was just convincing everybody else. And I can remember when Chris Moyles had the Radio 1 show, and he was like big time on Radio 1. And he had a strand on the show called I'm Not Dead for dead celebrities. And he had all these people on. Who had suffered the same thing. Yeah. So it was a real spate of these rumours of celebrity deaths. It's not you, is it? All right, thank you.
Mrs. Phillips.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Trying to get you to stay at home.
Okay, well, she did, and it worked, and it was great.
Or Pat Sharp.
Oh, no, not Pat Sharp. No, not him. But it was really... Yeah, so Chris Moore's show, they had this strand, and Mrs. Phillips said, all right, why don't you get on Chris Moore's show and see if we can put this to bed? Because it's clearly a platform thing. And he had the biggest show in the country. And I thought, brilliant, I'll do that. So we wrote in, we emailed in, and I phoned in. only to have a guy on, must have been a runner or one of the production assistants, say that stop messing about, Dave Benson Phillips is actually dead. And I'm saying, no, I'm Dave Benson Phillips and I'm not dead. I've sent you the email, there's a photograph of me. Yeah. Said, no, we've seen it, it's a sick joke. Forget it. And then said no. And I had the same thing happen as well on what used to be the right stuff as well. So for some people, it was, it was, I couldn't prove it. I couldn't prove it one way or the other. And it would be me on the end of the phone or on the end of an email saying, I am Dave Benson Phillips, I am not dead. And then people would tell me stories. I mean, I think, what was it? Tom Cruise spent $2.5 million and the publicist saying to the world that he wasn't dead. Other people have done similar things as well. But, I don't have that kind of money. I don't have a publicist. And all I could do was just work and hope that the rumour isn't as believed as much as possible, or to have myself, I was very lucky. In fact, I did an appearance on one of the Big Brothers, but not as a contestant. I went on as a guest, and that was nice. That was a real turnabout point because, again, rumours had been passed about, and I turned up on this TV show, and people said, we thought he was dead. It said so and everything else. And they helped in their own amazing way to turn the tables. And then the big thing that did help was when I was doing the Let's Rock 80s music shows with Pat Sharp, because, you can stand in the field on a stage and 10,000 people will see you and say, hello, Dave, how are you? We thought you would, and clearly not. So I was there. So it kind of thing is rebuilt, but I needed some platform. In that case, it was just a load of people in the field who happened to have mobile phones, and they were just taking shots of everything and passing them around on the social platforms, which was brilliant. But up until that point, I didn't know what to do. I really didn't know what to do. And it's a horrific thing, And what would I do if I saw these people? Person? I don't. I'd ask them a load of questions. I wouldn't necessarily want to beat them up. I just want to know, one, why you did it, and two, what result did you expect? I mean, that's the thing. It's a bit like, well, I want to say, you throw a brick through a window, and it's all about the anticipation of throwing the brick through the window. Once the brick goes through the window, it's like, what happens after that? I mean, unless if there's somebody on the other side of it going, oi, that's it. But in this particular case, it was just, well, I don't know.
Life-changing.
Absolutely. I mean, that's where it's completely horrific. That was a life change that I didn't want, that I didn't expect, that I didn't need, and that I still have to live with to a greater or lesser degree.
But since then, bringing the mood up a bit,
yep,
you appeared on MasterChef.
Yes,
that must have done great for you.
I was in and out in an episode. It was great.
Just one episode.
It was brief. It was brief. But to be fair, right, what happened was I was supposed to go in the next year's MasterChef. What happened was somebody dropped out. And they said, we'll get hold of Dave, is what they said. And they got me in. Everybody else had 2 months to prepare their meals, and I had a car journey. They came to my house with a contract and a car journey and said, there you are, it's a nice hotel, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. And so basically I went in and I was ill-prepared. Unprepared, ill-prepared, call it what you will. I was just not prepared. But it was great fun, but it was, I wasn't ready. I shouldn't have been in there. But it was really nice to do. And, I met John Turode and Greg Wallace before it all went a bit sort of out there. Ours was the year before it all went. It was a really, yeah.
And then he did Come Dine With Me, another cooking one.
Oh yeah, I don't have a good one with Come Dine With Me. So, on that one, again, ill prepared. I was told all the wrong stuff, and out of 5 contestants, I came 5th, and I wouldn't mind. But if you look at it, all the celebrities, there's 1st, 2nd, and joint 3rd, and I came 5th. What does that tell you? Yeah. Do
you think you were set up on that though? They wanted you to be terrible.
I wouldn't like to say.
I mean, posh bread is not really naan bread from Tesco's, is it? Was that you, or were you told to do that? Or?
No, it was all just very wrong. It was one of those ones where I was ill prepared. Seems to be the start. You see, if I prepare, you're loving this, aren't you? You're loving this.
Keith Lemon, you went on there too.
Yes.
Celebrity Juice.
Yes.
He talked about you and Fern Cotton.
Yes.
Yeah. Moving on.
That one. If they've still got clips on the internet, take a look at it and you'll understand why we're going to try and gloss that point. I know I shouldn't take over on the interview, but I'm saying that now just for reasons of decency. There you are. Back. And show's yours.
Jamal, have you sent him his camera yet?
Oh, this whole thing. Do you know what? I actually contacted Jamal, right? And I think he made it up. He made honestly, because it's one of those ones where I'm going, no. Had somebody written to me like that, I would have complied with the request. If the office hadn't have done it, I would have turned up with it, because that's the kind of guy I am. Because I know this, because I've done it before, and Mrs. Phillips has seen me do it before. I've dropped in prizes at people's houses because I happen to be in the theatre up the road. But so
he said he saw you at Fringe, and he mentioned to it that he won this competition as a kid and he never got the camera.
No, because I would have remembered that.
And he still never sent it. So he's got a massive grudge against you.
Right, okay, yeah. That's the word. He's got beef. He's got beef. So Jamal, right? I'm having this out with you now, right? Okay. If I ever see you, I'm going to give you a disposable camera. Because believe it or not, I've actually got said disposable camera at home for that very reason. But then again, you're tight so-and-so. You should have a camera facility on your phone. All right? So there you go. So at some point, that's why I haven't been on the show yet. I haven't been on the show yet because I've actually said I want to be on the show just for not to take part or guest in it. Oh yeah, Greg Davis. Greg Davis, if you're watching this, here's an idea for you. I just want to turn up and give Jamal his camera, because I'll tell you what, I've had enough of this. People coming up to me in the street and say, give him his camera. I know you. You're a good man. My kids like you. Give him the camera. Yeah.
I believe it when it happens.
Oh, that's just rude. You know I've blocked your car in, don't you? Right, okay. So, yeah, Jamal, if you're watching this, right, at Dave Benson Phil, all right? So, yeah, capital D, capital B, capital P, all right? And 2 L's in Phil, at Dave Benson Phil, on X or Twitter as you prefer. But listen, we'll sort the camera thing out. Preferably on screen so it can be filmed and shown live to the nation. Let that sink in. All right.
And then, so you mentioned Twitter there.
Yeah.
Did you put your cock back this morning?
Oh, you're scraping it now. Okay. So, yeah. You know, when talking to you, yeah, oh, God. All right. Okay. So I'm standing in a takeaway shop, as is my wont on a Saturday, and it was the infamous night. And I know it's when you say it, you spring forward and fall back. That's the Americans, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, so that's how you remember it. And I thought I was doing a really grateful thing because it's like winter time's approaching, time's to put your clocks and watches an hour back. And I'm going to do that on a social platform. One of my reasons for managing to get back and doing stuff is because I spend a lot of time on the social networks, you know, first of all, I was on there to say, I'm not dead, I'm not dead, I'm not dead. Nowadays, I'm doing other things. But here's the thing. So I was there and I thought, right, I'm just going to let the people know to put their clocks back. That's what I want. It'll be really nice. It'll be like me, Dave Benson Phillips, father to the nation, making sure everybody's okay. So imagine myself, I'm in the queue, diddly, 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 and I'm pressing my doodahs on my phone, and I've got real sausage thumbs, and I can't believe what I did. To this day, I can't believe it, but it was that whole thing. I'm in the queue, and somebody calls out, "Benny, did you get that chips?" I said, "Oh, yeah, there you go, thank you very much." And I'd written the message, I was halfway through, and I said, as far as I was concerned, I said, "Just remember, whatever you're doing, please remember to put your clocks back." That's what I wrote. In my head, that's what I wrote. And there's that, "Please remember to put," yeah, that's right, that's my food. Get my peri chicken. Other takeaway foods are available, honestly. And I get up and put the phone back in my pocket, get my food, take it home to Mrs. Phillips and my boy. And Mrs. Phillips is looking at me going, "Dave, is there anything that you want to tell me?" And I thought, well, I've got the takeaway. Anything else? No. I can't think of anything that I'd done recently where I'd had to answer like that. She said, "Is there anything you might have sent out that might be a problem?" I went, no, don't do that. What? And she said, "Take a look at this message." And I went, "All right then." So I took a look at it. I was like, "What's wrong with that?" And she said, "Look at it again." I went, "Oh." And the next thing I know, that's why in my pocket, I was thinking, why can I hear my phone going off? Like ding, 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 ding. I'm thinking, what the hecky peck's going on? And I looked at the message and I realised what I'd done. And I tried to take it back, but it was too late. The genie was out the bottle. As far as the world was concerned, I said, "Yeah, have a good time, whatever you're doing. And remember to put your cocks back." The L was missing. That's right. That's what I wrote. And you know what? Every year, without fail, people will always send me that message. Let that sink in. Thank you.
But you got a TV appearance from it, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I did. I was in Liverpool. I got a message. I thought, I'm trying to keep a low profile. I want to keep a low profile. We love Liverpool. Our family loves it. We love going there. We love Liverpool a lot. If I had my way, I'd probably end up living there. And yeah, and we're in the middle of our sort of city break, as it were. And I get this message from the last leg. Says, "Dave, would you like to come down and explain yourself to the nation?" And I said, yeah. So I got on a train, and yeah, they had me in on the last leg. I mean, I loved that show. I mean, it's long running and it's fantastic. But, yeah, I was really humbled by that one. And yeah, Mr. Hills and Josh Widdicombe and Mr. Brooke, yeah, they were just really nice. They were really nice about it. And they were just looking at me, just give me a hug and say, "You mad person." And I said, I really, genuinely thought I pressed the L. I really did. I went like that. And of course, it's those slate phones, isn't it? You see, and my biggest argument was, see, if I'd had a BlackBerry, that would never have happened. Because BlackBerries have contoured buttons for people like me. So there you go.
So you've done voiceovers as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I do voiceovers. Always up for voiceovers. Love a voiceover.
Pantos, how many times have you done Snow White?
Yes, okay.
I love a panto. It's proper British culture, isn't it? A panto.
Oh, it's the best. It's the best. It's one of those things. I didn't get a chance to go to drama school like I wanted. I wanted to go to RADA, and I'd won a scholarship to go to RADA. And my dad said no, so I didn't go, because that's what you do in households. If father speaks, you got to listen. So I went to panto. It was a friend of mine who got me into panto, and I came in a very circuitous route. So I'd just done Playdays, so it'd only been on about 5 or 6 months. So I've yet to be known, and my friend had a car at the time which wasn't very reliable, and he was meant to be at an entertainment's gig to, funnily enough, choose people for panto. And he said, Dave, can you come round because my car doesn't work? And I went, oh, well, I'll come round and fix it, because it's one of the things my dad taught me was mechanics and things. So I know my way around the car. The only reason why I don't work on cars is that I've got this, most people who know me, I've got a metal allergy. Anyway, enough of that. But so I went around, fixed my mate's car, and I thought he was going to pay me. He said, I haven't got any money, but I'll tell you what I will do. I'll take you to say, do you want to come and see this panto gig? I mean, so if he paid me, 20 or 40 quid, I probably wouldn't be in panto, even as we speak. He said, I haven't got money, but I know a guy who's got some money, and we'll go see him. And I went, okay, yeah, fine. So I drive him along. So he drives me along to this club. I think it's Potter's Country Club. I want to say Potter's Country Club. It's Potter's. And I watch all these people performing, and basically it's a showcase is what it is. So people, actors, performers all go up there, show their wares, and the agents who are there sort of tick them off and go, I might be able to hire that one, I might be able to use that one, I might not be able to use that person. And this panto producer turned around, his name's David Lee of Pantoni Productions, and said, I don't know anything about you, but I understand from our associate here that you've just done a bit of telly. Would you like to do a panto? And I just wanted the 40 quid. Thought, so you ain't got any money, are you? So it's like, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll do it. I'll do the job. And it changed my life. It was another one of those changed my life things. And it was just like, I got to perform, I got to act, I got a lot of people's nerves. But that said, it's a really good thing. I mean, I've done it. I'm trying to think now how many years. It's got to be at least 35, 40 odd years that I've done pantos in some way, shape or form.
And did they use the Gunge in the show? Did they try and get you to do?
Yeah, I've used the Gunge in the show.
What do they use to make it in the
No,
show?
they normally leave me to mix it. I like that. He's a trier. He is a trier. He's a trier.
Have you thought about releasing, like slime is a big thing at the minute, isn't it? Kids love slime. Like releasing your own.
Do you know what?
Merchandise
we
of slime.
Looked into it. We just couldn't make it work.
Because of the ingredients?
No, it wasn't the ingredients. It was just, the thing about it is it's finite. You mix it, it's messy, it's slimy, it has a consistency, and then it either goes off or gets hard. So there you go. Work from that what you will.
Okay. So pantos.
Yes.
I love a panto.
Do you? Oh, no, you don't.
Oh, yes, I do. So do you have a favourite pantomime?
Oh, there are so many that I've done, and there are so many different versions, and there are so many.
What's your favourite story and character that you like to play?
Story, Butlins, because I got to play it, and that was the most incredible part I got to play. Because normally that's the preserve of comedians and stand-up comedians and comic performers. They tend to do that. And of course, I come from it as a background as a children's entertainer and TV presenter, so I'm probably not the right thing for the part, or so they thought, but they were willing to have a go. So I got to do my first one with Julian Clary as Butlins for his Dandini, and it was Cinderella, which is my favourite and strongest story that I like being in, because as Butlins, it's the part where you talk to an audience and you get to emote with them, guide them through the show and everything else. And also because Cinders is in love with the prince, and Butlins is in love with Cinderella. There's a bit of a triangle-y thing going on. Sorry, spoiler alert, okay? But there's a scene which I love and I hold close to my heart where Butlins declares his undying love for Cinders, and Cinders turns him down and says, no, I love somebody else. Now, you're smirking about this, but for me, it was the one thing that I was taught about that is pathos, which is where you're the ability of emoting sadness. So you've got the whole fluffy bit, and then you put that out there, and if you get it right, the audience just goes nuts. They'll just go quiet, and I remember the first time, because it was like, if you want to train to be an actor and you don't get to do acting, then you feel like you kind of missed out in your education. So to be on stage, to declare love to Cinders after being quite silly and doing all sorts of silly things, and saying, I love you, and her saying, I don't love you. That whole scene. It was my favourite bit. It was because it literally, you can hear a pin drop. I mean, I can remember once hearing somebody gasp in amongst all this size, and it was and you have to still yourself a couple of seconds, because you think, as an entertainer, you want to work on that, go, hey, but you have to leave it where it is. And it's one of those things, and the next time you come on a scene, after that, people just, I can remember having people just crying, and it's just such a beautiful thing. And I love that. That's the part I like playing with Butlins, because you get to do the bit with the audience, the happy, the sad, and everything else. And it's such, it's also my I get to be funny, which is doesn't happen very often. But it really is. It's such an incredible bit, and I've done Butlins a fair few times, which has been that's been an amazing part. I love that. This year, funnily enough, though, I'm going to be the Emperor, because I'm now at an age where I now have to do the more senior parts. So gone are the days where I used to be Butlins. I mean, I could still do it. But they want me to do like more grand roles, so I get to be the Emperor, the Alderman Fitzwarren for Dick Whittington, that sort of thing.
And you do acting, don't you? You've been in a movie recently.
I've done movies and things. It's really funny, because I always wanted to do those, but then I found they're a lot tougher than I thought. Because it's that whole thing about having an emotion which isn't stage big. So it's not like you go and grin big, because of course on a screen that just looks really weird. So everything is less, smaller, tinier. I mean, things like the best actors that you watch are the ones who can do the stuff with their eyebrows and everything else, and look and direct and misdirect, because they understand that your actions are small, and in some cases slow and fast denote certain things. So I've had to learn how to do that. So that's been really interesting. I did a film just recently where I was a barber and a hairdressers, and we're talking about art. And it's pretty spectacular. And of course that was fun, because, I don't get to do that often. And also they had me saying some insane lines. But, and it was quite the grasp. And it's quite the education. But I've done other things. I was in a film once called Chubby Funny, which I was in that, and just done done some wild and wonderful films. That's what I've done, but just all small bits.
Yeah,
I'd like to do a big one. Somebody had me in for an action film, and it was a great action sequence, and in the end it was cut. Oh. Because they said it's no reflection on me. I just looked odd, because they said the problem that they had was this person had grown up with me, seen me, being children's TV presenter and everything else, and
almost typecast, right?
Yeah, and then they saw me sort of in this sequence, sort of leaping around with guns. and sort of punching people. Because what's really stupid is I got trained in all of that through all my years and everything. So I did like stage combat and fighting and everything else. So although I didn't go to RADA, I did lots of lessons and things and workshops and worked with actors for years and stunt people for years. So I picked up things and was able to do. Well, you couldn't go in a wrestling ring unless if you didn't know how to throw yourself about. Just because sometimes, you will land oddly. So you have to, as by way of reflex, train for all that sort of thing. So yes, did this action sequence which they completely cut from a film. Because I looked too
You look like
odd.
you.
I looked like me. It was like, but isn't that... He does get you out. What's he doing with a machine gun? Why is he punching people? What's going on? I'd love to do another one. I think the only way that I'd probably be in an action... Have you ever seen one called The Fifth Element?
Yeah.
Right. So, Chris Tucker... where he does whoopie rack and he does all that whole sort of big mouth, and he just spends like 5 or 6 minutes just screaming in a film. I think that's what people might need to do for me. So like put me amongst the explosions and have me go and then just run about a lot. But yeah, it was great. I was flying across tables and everything else. It was the best. It was really. I think it's a right of every man to at least appear in an action film. It was great. It was great. I released my inner Bruce Willis. It was great.
To wrap things up.
Oh, are we wrapping up?
Well,
man, I've seen all your questions, man. Politics.
Yeah, we're
What's
going to
that
politics. Well, that's what you got. I was about to ask you. Donald Trump.
Yeah?
I hear you had a run-in with him.
Oh, never mind about that.
What happened? What happened there?
No, I don't want to talk about it.
Don't give him the airtime.
No, not only that. Yeah, well, all right, okay, I'll tell you the nicest one. Right, so then I am on Tinternet, and I'm clearly fighting people off and stuff. And the next thing I know, I'm saying to Mrs. Phillips, because I'm looking through who's subscribing to me, who's fallen off and everything else. And I'm looking at this Twitter address. Now I'm thinking it can't be true. So this says Donald J. Trump. And I'm thinking, it's probably a wind-up. It's probably a stitch-up. And it wasn't until it was confirmed on the news that Donald J. Trump has a Twitter address, and it gave the address. And he's followed me for 3 weeks. I mean, seriously, followed me. I said, what are you doing here? You know that I'm black, don't you? So very briefly, he and I exchanged. But it wasn't me that initiated it. It was Mr. Trump.
Wow.
Yeah.
Playdays fan, maybe.
I don't know. Do you know what? To this day, I don't. I think he's got a big list. And it's like I'm on the list somewhere. So, like his to-do list.
Did you get attacked by a seagull?
Yeah. Well, are you connecting that with Donald Trump?
No.
Because I wouldn't put it past him.
Well, it made headlines like the front page of the Daily Star. Dave Benson Phillips attacked by a seagull.
Right. This is what happens if you ever live in Worthing, and everybody knows that I live in Worthing. Other towns are available. It's clearly a slow news day for the UK and the world. But yeah, it was reported in the Nationals, and funnily enough, since then has sparked over the years serious debate. So this is what's going to happen, right? So there I was performing in Worthing. Now Worthing has every summer in the month of August, and it's always around the children's summer holidays and stuff. As you know, we're a town with a stony beach. If you've not seen the stony beach, go down and try and build a snow castle, or not snow castle, sand castle, because we ain't got no sand. So every year for the month of August, we get sand imported in, and it goes into the town square area, which is lovely. So it's this big sort of wooden railway slabs the sort of big sorts, and it's built into a massive square, and in goes the sand, and it stays there from the first day of August to the last day of August, and summer's come because the sand's there. And normally there's deck chairs put out around it. It's a real microcosm of what a seaside should look like, and it's got sand, it's got buckets and everything else, and it's really great. And every now and again they get live performers in, and they get the odd DJ and stuff like that, or they get musicians in, and I was one of the guys that they pulled in to entertain the children. So I would be there with my guitar singing songs for the children, and other songs, oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. And then in the end, you just wind up being sort of part of the scenery, which is a lovely thing. So the children are playing away with the sandcastles. Parents are sort of sitting and chatting around the side. Shoppers going by. It's a really nice scene. And the odd seagull sitting about. So there you are. And Mrs. Phillips had decided to bring me some lunch, which is lovely. And another member of the staff also brought me some lunch. I had these sandwiches up, and I thought, brilliant stuff. And I'm allowed to park in the town centre. That's one of the good reasons why I do it, is I can bring in my speakers and everything, and I'm allowed to park my car in the town centre, and nobody can give me any tickets. Thank you very much. Mrs. Phillips loves that, because all she does is she hits the shops and puts all the shopping in the car and walks off. So there I am, playing away, playing lots of seaside songs, lots of lovely songs for the children. And it's a seagull basically eyeing up my sandwiches. Right? I've eaten one sandwich, not happy with that one. And there's one sandwich less. Like, so I'm playing away, la 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 la. All of a sudden, the seagull comes down, gives it the side eye. All right, gonna have that sandwich. Just as the seagull comes in, I smack it on the head. Flies up to the roof. It's not happy. Not happy. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Thinking a seagull would fly off, that seagull stays there right until the end of my set. And I'm there for an hour, okay? And I'm playing away, and this seagull is not much, just looking at me like, yeah, I'm going to get you. Going to get you. All right? And I'm putting all the stuff away. And that's when it starts. This seagull starts basically just pooing on my car, flies down, having a go. I tried to get the sandwich, not having the sandwich. I ate the sandwich in front of it, and it wasn't having it. And it waited until I packed up, and it was just kind of all over the top of my car. I mean, this came out of its backside. I mean, it just emptied its guts, or so I thought, and then looked me in the eye, and then yacked up. So I did it from both ends, I'm telling you. Attacking me and everything. I mean, it really was. It was going for me, and people who sort of couldn't believe it. And I said afterwards, this seagull, I did it on Twitter, and it was just like, that's what happened. And I asked the question, do seagulls hold a grudge? And they clearly do. And what really was funny was, people, apart from people taking the mickey out of it and saying, this is a non-news story, Dave, how could you? Come on, are you really grabbing at headlines? I was then contacted by leading ornithologists who said, oh yeah, these birds do this all the time. They're vindictive so-and-sos. And these people, it sparked public debate. In fact, they're still having it now in Worthing. They have it every year. They're looking for people who can scare birds. If you can scare the seagulls, mate, you got a job here for life. You know what? I've actually got Mrs. Phillips to tell you. It's a shame I didn't bring it. I've got a seagull suit. And I've threatened it many a time where I just want to walk up and down the promenade and say, have that. Come on. It's pretty looking at that. Seagulls that's really close up. It's like, nah, mate. But so in fact we saw one. There's a road down here, called is it Warwick? Yes, Warwick Street, and we call it Seagull Alley because it's all the restaurants in this part of Worthing, and people come along with their ice creams and stuff, and I swear the seagulls come down and they treat it like a bombing run. You know Star Wars? You know that bit where Luke's going down the trench, right? It's that. Yeah. Except, no TIE fighters or anything, none of the X-Wings. It's just these bleeding seagulls going, use the force to, and they just come in and they literally just nab the food. We had a classic one the other day. So we went out for a family walk. We were near the theatre. We were near the theatre on the prom. And this couple, nice couple, middle-aged couple, clearly down from London, having a lovely day, la 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 la. They got buzzed by two, and they came in either side from the back, and they literally went for the chips and then out. The classic one that I always remember, and we hadn't been down in Worthing all that long, was a family and a little girl who was walking along with an ice cream. She was really proud of it. Oh yeah, thanks mummy, thanks daddy. Lick, 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 lick. And this seagull appears, right? But looks at this girl, looks at the ice cream, then goes up to the top. And this is where we realised these seagulls are organised, all right? And I mean organised, okay? They're obviously having a conflab. And they all come down and they all get in different places. And I'm thinking, what the hell's going on? And all of a sudden, this seagull, one of the seagulls, starts walking in front of the little girl doing what looks like a comedy walk. Like, legs, feet, legs, wings, like this. And I'm thinking, what's going on? And I'm nudging Mrs. Phillips and saying, I think something's about to go down. She's going, shut up. And I'm going, no, seriously, look, take a look at this seagull. This seagull's in front of the girl going, oh, I'm doing a silly dance. And that's this distraction. That's the first thing, right? So as a person who does magic, you know this. Distraction, misdirection, okay? The next thing that happens, silly dance, these birds get in right close, boom, ice cream's gone, cone, everything, back up the top of the roof, and they divvy out what they've got. I kid you not. It was the setup, the prestidigitation. It was the prestige. It was just gone. It was yeah, and this girl like wah, and the seagull's gone yeah, as only seagulls can. I mean, it was just unbelievable. So whether solo or in a group, they can pull it off, and they do. They nab stuff. I know there's a guy, but I think he's one of the South Coast villages, and I think he's got a job. He's a bird scarer. He's a bird scarer, and he looks like a one-man band, and he's got like noisy percussive things, and he literally, as people are sitting and eating their chips, he literally goes past them waving and everything. And you think, well, normally that would be the job of the village idiot, but I bet apparently he drives a Jag, so he can't be that daft. But yeah, I mean, yeah, welcome to Worthing.
Is the Okie Kokie your favourite song?
Yes.
Okay.
I will have it at my funeral. Closely followed by the birdie dance, depending on which
birdie song, yeah.
Oh, I kid
What
you.
is a little bit of this?
Don't know.
And a little bit of that?
Don't know.
Everyone has different moves, don't they, for it?
They do, depending on where you go in the world.
Okay.
I know that when I've travelled and I've done various shows and concerts and things, various countries, that certain songs change or certain words change. So, for instance, the hokey. Yeah, in America it's the hokey pokey.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, in Germany that's hokey cocky. You asked.
So word association. So one word. Okay, I'm going to say some words.
Oh, I'm rubbish at this.
I am too.
You're going to ask me ingredients.
Of course not.
If it's on
It's
there,
not on there. I'm going to add it. So Sunny D.
Oh, I was in that. I was in that advert. Yeah, I was, yeah. I was young. I needed that. It was good fun.
Kids TV today.
Interesting.
Chuckle Brothers.
Love them.
Bodger and Badger.
Yes.
Big Bird.
Yes.
Pantos.
Nice.
Trolls.
Hate them. That's 2 words, sorry. Hatred.
And what do you want your legacy to be?
In 1 word.
No.
Oh, thank goodness for that, because I was trying to think. What do I want my legacy to be? Nobody's ever asked me that. That in the time that I was alive, I did something good that people could use and that people liked, and that I was a part of something. Because for a lot of my time, I wasn't a part of something. So yeah. To have left some good done by me. That'd do. Man, that was serious.
So Dave, this has been an absolute joy.
Is it really? But it's like pulling teeth for you there.
No, thank you for being open and honest and funny.
Yeah, naked cowboy.
But you shaped so many childhoods, including mine. It's been an absolute privilege to having you here.
Oh, mate.
Go and listen to Dave. Go and support him. Go see him live. Take your kids to see him. He is brilliant.
I don't know about that. But
yeah, do you know what, though? I saw you in Butlins with my toddlers at the Tops break. It must have only been 3 or 4 years ago in my head. Yeah. And you were brilliant. There was a big audience. It was in Reds, so not the biggest club, but everyone, you playing nursery rhymes and everything.
Oh, wow.
And at them places, all kids want to hear is like Baby Shark or the Okie Kokie, but they don't play them songs anymore. Yeah. But you do. So you instantly connect with them kids. So honestly, it's not it's not a retro thing or nostalgic thing. Dave is great for the kids of today. It's just normal entertainment, good entertainment. So let's keep the nostalgia alive and keep it going. Let's get Dave back on the TV screens as much as we can, because you are brilliant. You are absolutely brilliant.
You're very kind, and thank you for being the viewer. I'm great. I'm actually grateful for it. I'm going to stop this now because
thank you, Dave.
Most people don't do this with me. They
Ladies
just sort of say,
and gentlemen, Dave Benson Phillips.
Yeah, whatever. See, and again, I've done it again, haven't I?
Cheers, Dave.
No, it's all right, mate. No, thanks a lot, and thanks for having me in.
Also,
I love what you've done with the patio. It's great.
I've got a bucket of Gunge in the car.
Right, you join us at a very special moment in the interviewing where I get to do the gunging on this poor gentleman, Simon, here. I wouldn't mind, but he's actually requested this, okay? So I'm going to do a countdown from 3 to 0. Feel free to count with me. In 3,
2,
1. Oh!
What's he doing? Look at the consistency.
Cheers, Dave.
Nice.
That is pretty decent consistency. That's good, isn't it?
That's really interesting.
That's good, isn't it?
That's
very interesting. Look at that.
That is gelatinous stuff.
Oh.
And it's also very cold.
It is cold.
Right, back to the Travel Lodge.
I'm hosting the red carpet on the Great British Entrepreneur Awards tonight.
Like this. Go straight like that.
Loving the suit.
Oh, look at that. That's nice.
Oh my God.